Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Yachts here. It is Sunday morning. The Raptors lost in overtime to the Portland Trailblazers. Really annoyed with that game last night. If I want to look at the bright side of things, well, we made a good effort. We got to overtime. That's interesting. Overtime was absolute garbage, but we also lost. In some ways, that helps our season goals for the rest of the year. So in some ways, I don't want to get all mad this morning because in some ways I'm very mad. I'm very mad. There's a lot of different things that happened last night that pissed me the hell off. Whether it was things that had to do with the refs, whether it was things like Chris Murray falling on Chris Boucher for no fucking reason at all, messing up his leg. Hopefully he's not going to be on the injury list because of this. There's all kinds of different things that pissed me off about the game last night. But in some ways, I'm going to just focus on the things that matter, that kind of matter at this point. We made a very valiant effort, got it overtime. We saw good development in certain ways about that. And then also, once again, in some ways, we're worried about losing. Maybe we're losing is good. It's good. I was hoping this game could be like the opposite of the game against Portland to be in the year here in Toronto, where we were winning the whole entire game. And we let it go right at the end and let Portland beat us right at the end. I hated that game so much. And well, I was hoping we get the reverse, the opposite. We get beat all game. The Portland Trailblazers have the game and they cough it up and screw up and lose the game. Well, you know what the factor is there? There's two factors. The referees is one of them. And then the other factor is Ayton. Yeah. Man, when I heard in the middle of the day, because I said yesterday on the stream, Ayton's probably not going to play. I was wrong. I did not know that Ayton and Scoot Henderson were going to come back last night for the first time in a few games. And that was a huge difference. And then right before the game, RJ Barrett threw up. And he was a scratch. Like within 5-10 minutes of the game starting, they said RJ's not playing and Grady would be starting in his place. RJ did throw up right before the game last night, and that's why he didn't play. In some ways, looking at RJ's not playing last night was like, well, is this like Tampa? Is this like an OG DMP near the end of Tampa season? Is that what this is? I could look into those kind of things where people are missing all of a sudden right at the end, and there's not a totally clear reason why they're not making the game. Well, you can kind of think, well, are we pulling punches? Are we sitting guys? Because the goal right now may be to stay near the bottom of the standings in the NBA to keep a protected pick. I don't know. In some ways, what we do on this channel is we're gaming it for the Raptors, whatever way that's positive in the best ways. Some ways last night really pissed me off. Some ways I'm disenchanted with the NBA so much that I don't want to fucking watch it anymore because I just see how bad it is. When Rudy Gobert goes like this at Scott Foster, that means something. That's why Scott gets so mad because he knows it's the goddamn truth. And in some ways, like I said yesterday, why the fuck would they give a shit about a Portland versus Toronto game? There's the two teams at the bottom of the standings. Why would the refs have to influence a game or try and do things fucked up? Well, they did. They were very biased last night. There were calls that were out of bounds on the other team and right in front of Kevin Cutler's face, right off Anthony Simons, but all of a sudden it turns into a jump ball. He fucking does some shady shit with his jump balls too. He did it at the beginning of the game and at the beginning of the overtime. He's a very tall ref. And I've seen what you do, Kevin Cutler. I can see exactly what you're doing. You did it the last time we had you as a ref when we played Brooklyn also. The very beginning of the game, you have a weird technique with your jump balls where you hold the ball in your right hand first, you bring it up, and then you bring your left hand up to meet it. I'm watching you very closely, motherfucker. And what you do is you tip it to the other side. You tip it one way. You basically decide who gets the jump ball because you tip it to the team you want to get it. And you did that at the beginning of overtime. You wanted to set a tone right away to help the Trailblazers win because referees in the NBA knows statistically the team that scores first in overtime will win the overtime. So why would Kevin Cutler put the ball up high and tip it over to Ayton, and then Ayton is running towards the basket, getting a dunk within seconds of the overtime? Seriously, that's fucked up. They set them up in the overtime to get off the right foot, and it totally screwed us up. And then we couldn't score until 30 seconds left in the overtime. Like, that's messed up. In some ways, there's a perfect storm of all kinds of things. We're not powerful enough. We're not talented enough to overcome the referee's bullshit and everything else. DeAndre Ayton being very much the force in the middle. There's a lot to overcome, and the Raptors are just not in a place to overcome it. Scotty's there. Pirtle's there. Yeah, we win last night. We have one of those guys show up. Even RJ, if he had just played last night, we might have won last night. I'm pissed. In some ways, I wanted to beat Portland. I wanted to even the series. I didn't want them to sweep us. I did not want to see our hometown guy kill us and put a dagger in my heart. I didn't want to see any of that last night. In some ways, I hate the climb of coming back and getting teased with, oh, we could win it, and then not happening. It pisses me off. That pisses me off too. So I'm going to choose to look at the bright side. We lost. That helps with what we're trying to do for the rest of the season as far as the protected pick, the San Antonio Spurs. I'll look at the development of Manuel Quickley and things he's doing out there, and I'll be proud of that. I'll look at Kelly Olynyk's three-point shot finally going down, and I'll be happy about that. I can look at the bright sides of last night and not totally be pissed, but you know what? I'm pissed. In some ways, y'all are crooked as fuck, NBA. If you have to fix a fucking game between Portland and Toronto like last night, if you have to manipulate the scoring and the point differential for betting purposes, Scott Foster, motherfucker, look at me. Look at me, Scott Foster. You bitches. You fucking corrupt ass refs. Rudy Gobert is right. I hate Rudy Gobert. Stupid ass grabbing microphone motherfucker who started the pandemic. I hate him so much. But he's right now. They are corrupt. And some of the things that are happening in the NBA right now are all about sports betting. And it's all going to go down the tubes. I will watch this. I'm going to do this stream every day and talk about how more and more corrupt the NBA's gotten because they allow sports betting now. And everybody's worried about this, Scott Foster. It's so bad that they have to railroad a Raptors Portland Trailblazers game between two teams that are in the bottom part of the standings. You can't even have a regular competition between two shitty teams to let two shitty teams figure out which one's not the shittiest. No, you got to manipulate it still, Kevin Cutler, Scott Twardowski. You fucks. You still have to manipulate it. You still have to do your bullshit calls. The calls were almost as bad as Phoenix and LA before last night. Why? It's Portland. These teams are not good teams. Who cares about it? You're such degenerates that it's gotten to this point. No, we can see this. Scott Foster, Adam Silver. We can see this. This is truth. This is truth. Luka did it. He got a tech. Rudy did it. He got a tech. Y'all are fucking sensitive and you know you're guilty. You know, thou dost protest too much when someone does this to you. This is just a gesture. Why would this matter to you, NBA? If this was made at your NBA refs, if they're so in integrity, if they have such high morals and great standards of fair and balanced refereeing, why would this piss them off? Why would this make them so angry? Why would that do that? If they weren't fucking feeling that is true and they're feeling like, oh, maybe they're on to us. They're a little too trigger happy on that. You get a little too like, oh, they did this to me. Well, why do you care so much? If you have nothing to hide, Scott Foster, why does this matter to you? Well, I can see. Because y'all are such degenerates. You got to fix a game against Toronto and Portland, two bottom-feeding teams. This is how bad it's gotten in the NBA. Y'all used to let shitty teams just have games against each other. And you would never, ever manipulate things like this. Kevin Cutler, do you need glasses? Could you not see that the ball bounced off the Raptor back onto Anthony Simons and went off him? You're not able to see this. And also, this is an integral part of the game. This is near the end. I thought that y'all had a new rule about checking things at the end of the game for possession to make sure. It's not like y'all don't fucking stop the game for challenges and all kinds of stupid shit to check. Why wouldn't you go just look at the video instead of doing a jump ball ambiguously and just go look? Because you know whose ball it is. You know it's Raptors possession. You didn't want that. So you say, oh, we're going to do a jump ball and we'll get Kevin to do it in his biased ass way. I'm telling you, that is some crooked ass shit. You saw that. I can see in the angle in the replay. Kevin Cutler, you were looking directly at the ball when it bounced off Anthony Simons and went out of bounds on that play. And why do the refs not review shit like that when it's so important at the end of the game? And we don't have a challenge because we used the challenge already. We can't challenge that. Oh my gosh, the refs are so fucking bad at this point. You saw how mad Gary was when he left the court last night, yelling at people and talking shit to that Kamara guy. Yeah, that Kamara guy's talking trash. Well, motherfucker, you needed 8 to beat us last night. You needed 8. How pathetic is that? Y'all have DeAndre Ayton and all that size. You could just beat us over the head all game, and you still need Kevin Cutler to hold your hand. You still need the big man ref to help you. Yeah, he's on my list now, Cutler. And I'm watching you every time you throw a jump ball. And yeah, you can watch him. Next time you see Kevin Cutler throw a jump ball, watch how biased he throws that jump ball. Seriously. It's like he does a little trick. He says, I'm going to bring it up with my right and I'm going to use my left and then make it look like I'm pushing it straight up. No, I'm pushing it to the side. Watch him. He comes up with the left and he pushes with the lefts and boom, it jumps over one-sided. It's not going up straight. It's not going up straight where somebody who can get to it the highest is getting it. No, he's pushing it one side and the other one team's getting it on purpose. Very, very manipulative. Smart people that watch basketball a long time can see your bullshit, NBA refs, NBA association. You fucks. Why do we even watch y'all? Y'all are so corrupt. You have to fucking fix a bottom feeding game like last night? How corrupt are y'all at this point? How degenerate are you? Do you need Gambling's Anonymous because you fucks are still fucking doing this with a game like that last night? I can understand y'all protecting LeBron. I can understand y'all protecting Kevin Durant. But why the fuck are you protecting the Portland Trailblazers? What the fuck do they have for the rest of their season? You just want to fucking kick us while we're down and whip it out and pee all over us too? Is that what you're fucking doing to us, NBA? As far as the Raptors this season? Because there was no reason for your refs to railroad us and cheat us in the ways that they did last night. There was no reason other than this. I bet it was this. Oh, no, we can't have the Raptors come back and beat them. That'll mess up my bet. Why do we even do this? This season's a wash. Go ahead and do your fuckery now. When we're good again next year, we come back with Scott and Pirtle and new players and the new addition next year. You better be, if you do this kind of shit, we better be stronger to overcome this shit. We have to beat all of this shit. Chris knows, Gary knows, Darko knows. These guys know we have to go up against more than just the other team. Just the other team. It's not just the other team. It's not just the Portland Trailblazers. It's the fucking refs too. So messed up. All right, let me see what y'all are saying. In some ways, I don't even want to do this stream for too long. I've got other shit to do. So we'll talk about it for very briefly, and then I'm going to get the fuck out of here and go do the rest of my life. Because why the fuck should I cover this fucking corrupt bullshit is what I'm saying this morning. Dana's saying, good morning, everyone. We should have won that game. Oh, well, on to the next one. Yeah. Anything, we're happy because it gets us lower in the standings. It keeps us nice and solid and possibly keeping our high draft pick this year. That's the bright side of this. In some ways, I would love to have gotten our next win last night, but it just didn't happen because of this. I'm going to do this all the time. Y'all can't find me. Y'all can't technical me, Scott Foster. I'm going to do this all the time. And that's for you referees. You money grubbing sports bet piece of shit, corrupt motherfuckers. That's what I'm going to do right there. Every single time. That's right. Monique is here. Good morning, superfan Monique Lawrence. Always good to see you. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Great effort in the second. Definitely give Chris his flowers. Damn, it's so much fans talking about he doesn't fit the Darko system. Shut up. I mean, there's a lot of different talk around Chris and Darko right now. A lot of people are hating Darko because they feel like he's not playing Chris. They're upset with him about it. You know, I listen, he may not fit Darko's system. Monique, may not be absolutely false. In some ways, I've speculated about this. Darko prizes the paint protection. He is very important to him. In fact, he talked about it after the game last night, that at times the defense was good and it wasn't. In some ways, he was really, really upset with the second chance shots in the first half. There were so many second chance shots. Ayton and other people getting second chances, all these offensive rebounds. That was a huge thing that killed us and gave them a big lead early, as we could not board. And then we had turnover problems too last night. You couple those two things together, and it's really hard to do, especially if you're not shooting well. You start the game 2 for 14. You know, what do you do? It's not good. It's not a good recipe for a lot of different things. Now, about Chris, he was very happy with Chris last night. He said a lot of good things about Chris after the game, but also at the same time, he was really not happy with the defense and how not like being good the whole consistent all the way through the game. It was kind of like patchy at times. Let's just put it that way. Specifically talking about Grady and him starting and how he felt like he did. He was very critical of Grady. He said Grady had really good moments at really good times, but there were times where he had rookie moments too, where he was making mistakes. He wasn't in the right spot and he wasn't exactly right. It's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's going to make rookie mistakes. So, man, the first half, in some ways we could say we could have maybe more easily won this game or had this game win for us if we had started better. Starting with such a bad deficit, starting with such poor, stagnant offense really hurts. And then we see like how bad we started, and then we see how bad we started in the overtime. It mirrored each other. We couldn't buy a basket either one, start of the first quarter or the start of the overtime. Sometimes I wonder about that. It may seem like, oh, the Raptors is just this. You've got to understand there's manipulation in all kinds of ways. Like I described with the jump ball in overtime. That was very much catered and directed to the Trailblazers to win. And you see how quickly they got a dunk within the overtime with Ayton off of that. It's almost like they're in cahoots with the refs, and they know that they're going to do that because the same thing happened in Brooklyn with Ben Simmons at the beginning of the game with Kevin Cutler. Kevin Cutler basically gave the ball to the Nets, and all of a sudden Ben Simmons is attacking our rim and trying to score immediately within seconds. Well, that's the same thing that happened. Now, sure, we don't shoot well. Sure, we don't get off to a right start. But sometimes there's little subtle rhythms and things about the game that are manipulated by the refs that can be influencing why we don't start well. So pay attention to that. I can't pinpoint it exactly specifically, but I wouldn't put it past them that they figured out ways to fuck with them. It's little things like when people are taking free throws, when the referee walks into the lane, it can be very much distracting. And these guys know this. If a player's trying to shoot and all of a sudden the ref is walking in the lane while you're in the middle of your shot, it can mess up your free throw. These refs do all kinds of subtle manipulative things on the down low. If you're not looking with your eyes wide open and educated on basketball stuff, you won't see it. You won't see it. And there's a lot more going on to control the game with the officials than we actually realize, y'all. Despite all that, the Raptors still try and win and get good games and good efforts still. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Chris. I have no idea. In some ways, he's showing an essentialness to us in his role on this team. He was awesome in his interview after the game. And everybody who's been worried about Chris, he said exactly what I've been saying the last 2 weeks. He's a pro. He's been through this before. He's been in periods where he sat on the bench. It's not new to him. In some ways, he's not upset. In some ways, he understands this is the way the NBA is and that your time will come and you'll get your number called. You just have to be ready. And he's not mad at Darko for this, y'all. Y'all may be mad at Darko for this, but he isn't. And in some ways, he is being a very grown-up, mature professional. And in some ways, people acting on his behalf, you may be being immature is what's happening. So I give kudos to Chris. Chris is being the best professional he can be. This is a situation he's not necessarily happy about. But does he do a Vince Carter because he's pissed off at management or he's not getting played or whatever? No. When he gets his number called, he comes out there and he gives exactly what he's supposed to. And that is the difference between somebody who blames other people and lets them be the reason why they don't do something and somebody who takes it upon themselves and does it even if. That's the difference, Vince Carter, motherfucker. That's the difference. Even though things weren't going exactly how Chris wants, does that mean he needs to make himself look bad by not showing up and doing a good job? No. What does that get him? That hurts him. So he knows he's just got to do what he can do because he'll look good for it no matter what. And that's the difference right there. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Chris. I hope he's still a Raptor next year, but we don't know. Either way, it is what it is. In some ways, we look and see Delano on the other side last night. And a lot of people are saying, what the fuck? Why didn't we keep him last offseason? I get it. I'm with you. Darko talked about Delano talking to him when he first showed up. He was still on our team. And he had meetings with him right away in the beginning. And he got to know him. In some ways, I wish that we had held on to him. Because honestly, we're seeing like he's had his first 2 games in a row, Friday night and last night, of over plus 25 points in 2 games in a row. And he absolutely hit daggers on us last night, our hometown guy. hitting a big three, making some big baskets late to absolutely seal the deal to help the Blazers win. It hurts. In some ways, I'm happy for Delano because he is a Toronto guy and we'll always love him, even if he's killing us. But in some ways, also, it's like, what the fuck? Why did we let this one go? Like, seriously, why did we let this one go? I don't know why that happened exactly. I don't know if there's anyone to blame. It's just that a management decision was made and it changed. Now, a big part of the reason why Delano is as good as he is us. In some ways, John Hollinger on Twitter is giving kudos to the Raptors for helping him get a better shot from Nebraska. That he watched him in Nebraska and you see he couldn't shoot. Well, when he came to the Raptors, we developed him. We got him better, and he became a better shooter. Some people are blaming Nick Nurse and his fuckery with his gatekeeping on developing, especially in Delano's second year. Last year, Delano did not play like he did in his rookie year. He did not get a switch back and forth. And I feel like Nick was sabotaging us on the down low for the long term by not doing things correctly with the development his last year when he was doing fucked up shit to try and get fucking fired. And in some ways, a casualty of our team is Delano Banton blamed on Nick Nurse because he did not handle developing him last year correctly. And somehow, some way, he slipped away from us. And it's Nick's fault, honestly. I wouldn't blame the front office. In some ways, I would blame Nick for not utilizing Delano the right way in his last year as the coach of the Raptors. It really was a big fail. Seymour saying 0-2 this season against the Blazers, and they have a worse record than us. I mean, that team has 18 wins now. We have 23. In some ways, that pisses me off. The way that they got the first win this year was a fucked up way, and last night was too. In some ways, we needed that balance of getting a fucked up win against them instead of having two fucked up wins against us with Portland involved. Yeah, we'll remember this stuff, hopefully. In some ways, it's like Gary was very mad about the game last night when he left the court. He was really mad. And man, they had I'm really in a bad mood today. I'm just going to put it that way, y'all. I'm going to try and be right about this stream, but I am in a very bad mood. Monique is saying 3 stars in the loss. Gary, Chris, IQ is IQ and Bonus Kelly. Yeah, I think you're similar to me. I had a hard time picking the 3, and I had 4 that I wanted to pick, but I did settle on 3 in the end. My first star is Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher was absolutely the heart and soul of the Raptors in this game last night. 31 minutes, 16 points, 4 of 5 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 6 of 6 at the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, 3 turnovers. Yeah, a +3. One of the few guys on our team that was actually a plus on the court. Chris Boucher, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for understanding your role, and thank you for excelling in it. Thank you for staying ready. And thank you for being a great pro and doing it the right way. In some ways, the fight, the sacrifice, the physical sacrifice you're making last night, it was very much noted and seen by real Raptor fans like myself and the people that watch me here this morning. That honestly, Chris, we are so proud of you and everything you do. And I want you to continue to be a Raptor, but whatever happens in the future, so be it. When Chris Murray fell on you, I was like, what the fuck? What a goon kind of thing. And I was really worried that you might be hurt. In fact, we may find out you are hurt from that bullshit thing at the end of overtime when you put in the basket that made us go to overtime, which was absolutely heroic. All of a sudden, an idiot twin is falling over your leg and bending your ankle backwards for no reason. He really didn't need to do that. There was no reason why he needed to tackle Chris Boucher at the end of that game. And Chris Murray, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. If I hear that Chris Boucher is hurt, I'm going to be like, fucking Chris Murray, fucking Keegan Murray's fucking twin brother, piece of shit. That's what I'm going to say. Second star of the game for me is Quickly. Quickly leveled up in some ways last night. He really is starting to like push higher through his ceiling. And I feel like he did that last night. He wasn't flirting with a triple-double like the games before, but 29 points was very impressive. In fact, he found big shots at some point. He keyed our comeback. He was really the spark plug and somebody who really drove it with offense. Because this is what Darko said at the game, and I didn't realize this. Quickly only had 4 points at halftime. Well, he ended up with 29 at the end of the game. So he got 25 of his points in the second half and the overtime. Unfortunately, not that many in the overtime. Should have been, but he didn't make the first basket for us until 30 seconds to go in the overtime. That was really bad. But during the second half, Emmanuel was electric. 10 of 21, 4 of 10 from 3, 5 of 7 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 6 turnovers, 29 points in 44 minutes. Emmanuel was awesome. Emmanuel is the future. In some ways, Emmanuel's unshaken by losing. He doesn't care. We could miss a lot, and Emmanuel's going to make his shots. Emmanuel's going to have that enthusiasm. Emmanuel's going to pull us out of the mud at times. Watch in the future. There are going to be times when we're not doing too well, and Emmanuel will pull us out of the mud, like in the game. And he did a bit of that last night. He really was a huge, huge reason why we went to overtime. The third star for me is Kelly Olynyk. The only reason why I say that is because once again, we saw the intelligence and the smarts of Kelly all over the court. We saw more and more of things, and he finally started hitting his 3 last night, which was absolutely beautiful to see. Kelly, 6 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. Didn't shoot any free throws, which is weird because he was all over the place. He probably should have. 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, stat stuffing. He did have 5 turnovers, and him and Quickly had the bulk of the turnovers, which is too bad. But both of them were hubs, and that's part of the reason why. Darko really ran a lot through Kelly last night, and it was good. There was a lot of success in that. 15 points for Kelly overall. There's just a couple of games, a couple of plays every game where I'm like, man, I'm so glad Kelly's on our team. He's so smart. There's some really, really smart things he does. You see it on the court and you're like, wow, that was brilliant what he just did there. You have those moments, don't you guys? Sometimes when you're watching them too. Monique, what was your other guy that you put in there that I didn't add? Gary. Yeah. I wanted to add Gary, but he was really high volume, but not very efficient. Gary, 42 minutes, 10 of 26 from the field, 3 of 12 from 3. It's like Darko said, there were some open shots early that were good shots. They just didn't go in. And unfortunately, some of that was Gary. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, a minus 12 with 23 points in 42 minutes. It wasn't a bad game, and he was definitely helping. But once again, I just want Gary to be a little bit more efficient, just a little bit more efficient. He's going to be that high volume. You know, I always gauge it by this. You should have more points than shots you take. And he has 23 points, and he took 26 shots. And that just that tells you something right there. So yeah, he's my honorable mention. Actually, my honorable mention was actually going to be Nwora. Nwora off the bench in the first half was the best guy. Like he was like the star of our team for a little while there, as he was scoring when nobody else was. Nwora in 12 minutes got 10 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. Hit the only free throw he got, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, a +2. So Nwora shot well, and he was very much carrying us for a section of like the second quarter, and that was important. So yeah, so my honorable mentions probably Nwora. Gary, not for me. So, but good to see you, Mo. Always happy to see you here. Trevor's here. So Commissioner Fun is here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the cosmic card of the day. It's from my classic cosmic card box. We'll see what the card of the day is for today. Hopefully it's something interesting and makes me smile. Oh, wow. We got a former Raptor, former slam dunk champion, D Brown. D Brown, former Raptor, in the Celtics jersey. So this may actually be a very early D Brown card. What is this again? This is Topps. Looks like his 3rd season with the Celtics. So it's not a rookie. But yeah, we all know D Brown and his pump-up shoes. That was really famous in this dunk competition when he pumped the shoes up. D was awesome for the Raptors. He was actually a really good Raptor on the down low. He's somebody we forget about because he wasn't really like a big name. But when he played for us, he was really solid. And he tried really hard. And like he was fun. There's a lot of guys who played with D Brown from the history. Like you could talk to Alvin Williams about him, and he would say glowing things about him and being a really good person. I remember D on the Raptors because I worked in the building when he played for us, and he was just a really good leader, and just he was actually an underrated scorer and defender for us when he played for us. So D Brown, former Raptor, wearing the Celtics green, but still a former NBA dunk champion and a former he was on our team, and he was a solid guy for us when he played here. So we're celebrating D Brown as the cosmic card of the day. There you go. Trevor's saying, good morning, Raptors family. What a game last night. Chris and IQ were amazing. Chris has that dog in him who laid it all out on the court. Yeah, literally. He was laying on the court. In fact, I was so worried he was hurt right at the end of regulation. Chris Murray, fuck you. Unnecessary bullshit. Falling over him. That was so unnecessary. He bent his ankle back. Weird. Really, really weird. I'm glad he got to play more in the overtime. That was really good, though. Let's see. Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Banton showed up. Good for him. Yeah, let's look at Delano from the other side just real quick. Delano ended up with 42 minutes, 25 points, a plus 18. He was the highest plus minus on the Trailblazers, so that's something right there. 9 of 16 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3. Delano was 5 of 8 from 3 last night. That's crazy. 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block. Yeah, really good stuff. We're proud of you, man. In some ways, it's weird seeing him wear 5. I get it. Jeff Petrie, number 45 for Trailblazers, is retired. He can't wear the 45 bus, so he wears just a 5 bus. It's weird how him and Fred both wear 5 now. Fred VanVleet's 5, Emmanuel Quickly's 5, Delano Banton's 5. It's weird. It's weird. Other people, since I'm already here looking at the Blazers, obviously Ayton was a huge, huge problem. 30 points, 19 rebounds, double-double. I was really hoping he wouldn't play. I told y'all we were going to play him Moses Brown, but I was wrong. And Ayton decided to come back for this game. It could very well be. He was kind of iffy about coming back. He was like looking at the 2 games between Houston and the Raptors. He said, I'm not going to come back and play both. I don't really want to play Sengun and the Rockets. I'd rather play the Raptors, who do not have Jakob right now, and they have Kelly Olynyk. I will dominate. So that was probably very calculated. So Ayton really did. He killed it. 14 of 25, 19 rebounds. That's insane. That is Jakob Poeltl stopping him. That is the value of Jakob Poeltl right there, casual Raptors fans that don't understand the Jakob Poeltl deal. Well, DeAndre Ayton doesn't do what he did last night to us if Jakob's playing. And I wish more casual fans knew that. Simons was obviously a big problem too, hitting huge threes at times. In fact, Darko said that he told the guys to really key on Simons and not let him have those open threes, and they failed. They were supposed to keep the ball out of Simons' hands. That was part of the defensive game plan last night. And in some ways, we failed at times. Simons would get these threes every once in a while. There were huge momentum-shifting threes that really kind of helped them. There was one in the overtime that was absolutely a killer. And then there were ones late in the game also. But, yeah, Simons, a good game for him. 8 of 8, 18, 4 of 9 from 3, 3 of 3 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 5 turnovers, 23 points for him. Scoot Henderson was Scoot Henderson. There was a little bit of talking between him and IQ. They were kind of talking trash, and there was a little bit of going at each other. And that's when IQ got sparked up and was actually killing it. It was kind of like Henderson was egging him on. And he absolutely was kind of proven that he's badass. Emmanuel, which was awesome. Thibault was annoying. He had his own little parts in the things that happened last night with steals and threes. That Kamara guy, I'd never seen him before. He was interesting also. He had a couple of big shots that he made also, and he very much contributed to help them too. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. These kind of games are frustrating because you have it in your hand. You think you got it, and it slips through. It slips through. Cowboy saying, I don't know you got the chain last night, but it better have been Boucher. Nobody got no chain last night, Bradley. They do not give chains for losses. Nobody gets no chain after the Raptors lose. There's no chain. There's no chain last night. The chain went in the other locker room to Delano Banton. Yeah, Portland gave a chain. Let's see. Cream saying, at first I thought Gary Trent Jr. was mad at the end of the game because he's seen his realtor sitting courtside and still never sold his house in Oregon yet. But replay showed it was just beef with Kamara. Yeah, it was Kamara. It was that guy I just mentioned was the reason why he was all upset and yelling. And, actually Gary talked about living in Portland before the game. They did an interview with him yesterday, and he said that from the hotel he's staying in Portland, when they go there, he can see his old apartment that he lived in when he started with the Blazers as a rookie. So it's very familiar. He said when he comes back to Portland, he knows where to go. He doesn't need GPS. He knows the city really well. He knows places all over, and that's nice. Gary had a really good interview yesterday. He was very upfront and honest about things that things have been going on, and I really like his attitude. In some ways, he understands what's got to happen right now. He's an opportunity. He needs to rise up and take it and be one of the best players on our team. These guys are out. RJ was out last night. That opened it up even more, Gary, to put more responsibility on your shoulders. And I think that you handled some of it last night pretty well. I think that, like I said, you could have been more efficient, but you stepped up and took a lot of shots. And in some ways, I am very happy about that. That is something right there. Now, if you had been like 4 for 12 last night, that maybe not have been enough shots. And you didn't shoot well either. And in some ways, being 10 and 26, yeah, I'll take that. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. You got the volume in. That's what I'm saying. Now you got the volume in. Let's see. Trevor saying, once again, IQ is a true point guard and floor general. He brought that energy to fire up this team. That's the kind of point guard makes you want to watch basketball. He's exciting because he switches like times down the court. He very much is a shooting guard. He played like taking over kind of shooting guard at times, but you're right. He is also a point guard because we see the assist numbers that he's getting too. So, yeah, it's tough. Kelly had more assists than him last night, but it's, everybody's going to be passing in the system that Darko has. Yeah, I'm very excited about IQ. He's definitely a bright spot from last night and very much, I love seeing him smile and happy even though we're losing because he's bringing us back up. He's carrying us. That was really good. Let's see. Kareem saying IQ has officially won me over. Crazy thing is he still has plenty of upside left. This BBQ thing is real, and the Raptors are not handing out any invitations to the cookouts. Yeah, we're going to eat. We're going to feast our own team. We ain't feeding the other people. No, we want to go beat them. Yeah, I'm with you. Barbecue's a real thing. And Emmanuel does have really some crazy upside. The comparisons to Maxey are easy to do. But it maybe he has a whole other kind of thing and flavor to him. And Maxey is a good starting point of comparison, but Emmanuel's his own person. And I love the fact that he's done a couple things recently, statistically, that not many people have. Like that game he had the other day when he got 22, 13, and like something crazy like that. That actually put him in a stat category with very few people. And it's like Matt and Jack were showing the thing on the graphic on the show last night, and they're saying all the other guys on this list are Hall of Famers. It's like Emmanuel's on this list with a bunch of other Hall of Famers. Well, what does that say? You saying that Emmanuel's not a Hall of Famer? Maybe he will be. Maybe he will be. If he's getting lines and stats that are in line with people that are all kind of Hall of Famers in the future, well, maybe. We'll have to see. He's got to get the accolades too. That's the thing. That's the thing. Trevor's saying we had that game, but the referees took it away when that ball went off the Portland player and they called it the jump ball. That was some bullshit. Yeah, boy, that was some bullshit. He said it twice. He was like, that was some bullshit. Yeah, he had to rev that one up because he was right. That was a huge, crucial part. That wasn't the only one, though. They had some other fucked up calls. They were doing that hurry up shit last night, too. This is a new thing I've noticed the refs are doing. And maybe that they're sick. They heard people complaining about too much stoppages and there's like not enough time. There's too much time, dead balls and stuff. They trying to fix that. And their way of fixing it is let's hurry up the game so nobody can call challenges or get reviews called in. There were a couple times where both sides, not just the Raptors, but Portland too, was trying to see something and they're trying to hurry it up. You see Kelly Olynyk telling the ref to give the ball to Chris to shoot the free throw so that Chauncey Billups can't call the challenge. He's like, just give him the ball. Give him the ball so you can shoot. And Chauncey's like, nope, challenge. That kind of shit's happening right now where people are gaming, not giving a window to call the challenge. And, you see stuff like coaches are looking up and trying to see the replay. And meanwhile, the refs are pushing the game forward by giving the ball to the other team and inbounding it without a chance to actually look and see if they should review it. Yeah, there's a lot of fishy stuff. Once again, I would say this, referees. If out of bounds possession is so important in the last 2 minutes of the game because the game is close. You need to go watch it. Much like you guys review everything under 2 minutes. Well, isn't that what one of the things you would go review? Possession of the ball at the end of the game. If y'all aren't sure about it, why fucking say, oh, well, we're not sure about it. We're just going to make it a jump ball. That's disrespectful to the Raptors because that's the Raptors ball, and you just gave it to the Blazers in a convoluted, fucked up way. Seriously, you saw that, Kevin Cutler. This is just like Evan Scott seeing Gary Trent get his arm hit in the game before against Phoenix. We can see you on camera looking directly at the play. Why are you guys not calling this? It's obvious that you have the intention not to call it or call it a very specific way that benefits one side. I mean, seriously, we saw a Raptor player hit the ball off of Anthony Simons, and it went out of bounds on Anthony Simons. Why is that a jump ball? Why is that not taken to the fucking counter and y'all are looking at it on TV? That's a very easy, like, couple of seconds you could just go fucking do. I mean, setting up the jump ball just takes as long as just going to look at the fucking video screen. Y'all look at the video screen all the time. Why wouldn't you do it in that crucial moment? Why? Because you're manipulating the game. And in some ways, everything you do is a charade. And you're just fucking doing bullshit. And you have a storyline. You have a plot. This is WWE. This is WWE. And I mean, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. First of all, Kevin Cutler, you saw it. We can see it on camera. You're looking directly at the ball, bouncing off Anthony Simons out of bounds. Second, y'all don't know what's going on. You're dubious. Well, go fucking watch it. You can do that. We know you can. You do it all the time. So why do you decide, oh, we're not going to go look at the video? We're just going to jump ball it. It's all convoluted bullshit. And they're fucking crooked as fuck. Yeah. That's it right there. That's it right there. Cream saying, if the refs are unsure of a call, I understand a jump ball, but when it's under 2 minutes, the protocol should be to go and stop and look at that Commodore 64 and review the freaking replay. Exactly, Kareem Thomas. Exactly. Y'all gonna review every little thing. Some of this stupidest shit. Tony Brothers will take fucking 10 minutes looking at a fucking computer sometimes in the middle of the game. Y'all can fucking go check this. This little check. It will take you 1 second. Walk over there, Kevin Cutler, you big lazy ass motherfucker, and look at that TV screen. And don't be like, I don't know what happened. Let's just jump ball. What the fuck is that logic? Seriously, referees, you guys have no fucking credibility at this point. Rudy Gobert is right, and I hate his ass. I hate Rudy Gobert. I detest him. And he is right. He is right. He is so right. Oh, my gosh. Cowboys saying, Benedict Mathurin is out for the season for the Pacers. Imagine the Pacers lost more games, and we end up with 2 potential lottery picks. That sounds like crazy talk, Cowboy, but who knows? Who knows what could happen? Who knows? Maybe that could happen. Kareem saying Slim Duck felt right at home and did his thing in Oregon last night. Heart and hustle is also a skill, but not always measured. Yeah, he does play very well in Portland because of Oregon and his ties to his alma mater in college. Yeah, he was great last night. I'm glad he was the first guy off the bench, too. He was the first person Darko put in off the bench last night. And listen, y'all got to understand, Darko's the coach. He's going to do what he's going to do. Chris DMPs, he DMPs. If he plays, he plays. I don't think he has anything against Chris. It's just that in some ways, Darko's basketball philosophies don't necessarily include a player like him with his body type that cannot protect the paint. I've said this over and over again. Darko values his bigs to protect the paint. And, you see Chris out there with DeAndre Ayton. He can guard him to a certain extent. In fact, he blocked him a couple times. He does some good stuff. He can do it, but he can also get very much beaten. And honestly, they can just muscle him and push him to the side like Wembayama. And, how that you can't guard the paint if you can't get like a doorstop. You can't Kyle Lowry people. You don't have Kelly Olynyk muscling, pushing him out. Ayton's going to just dunk on you all game long. And that's part of it right there. Yeah. Cream saying, I wish I understood these lottery picks and shit. All I want is Zach Edey, Sign IQ, and Nick Claxton this summer, and we were set. I'm thinking bigger than what you're even saying right there. I think Nick Claxton's a little low for the free agency, like target otherwise. I don't mind everything you're saying here, though. I don't mind it at all. Smooth saying, really proud of the effort last night. You could tell that they all really wanted to win that game. Yeah. No, the effort was awesome. In some ways, Darko is commending them for not giving up and fighting right up until the end. And as fans watching it, that's all we can ask for, too. In some ways, we're getting really, really good effort. We're not mad at our guys for not trying. There were times earlier this season where we were like, these guys aren't being professional. They're not trying. You remember that part of the season in November. I was saying these guys are losing because they're not being professional. There was a period of time during the season where I was saying that. Well, even if these guys aren't as good as our old version, at least these guys are trying their ass off, and they are taking things very seriously. So at least we have that smooth, right? At least we have that. Nameless is saying if Porter played, we might have effed around and accidentally won that game. It was so nice to see all that burn for IQ. He's going to need those reps for next season. I'm just sad he didn't get 30. Jonte, yeah. I mean, that's the sacrifice. In some ways, it's like the choice is Jonte Porter or Chris. And that's where the dilemma is. Because Jonte Porter could be a part of our future. He's so young. And in some ways, we want to give him time and get him developed. And that's why you don't play Chris. Is because in some ways, you may prefer to play Jonte because you want to get him more time. You understand Chris. That's what I've been trying to tell people last month or so. We know Chris. We know what he gives us. We understand his game. In some ways, we don't totally understand Jonte's game. We want him to feel more comfortable because he's so green as a player that's why you play Jonte instead of Chris. But last night, you don't play Jonte because Chris got the minutes. So there's a balance to this. And people got to understand this when they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on with Chris Boucher. Yeah, I don't know if Jonte would have helped us win this game. I think RJ, Scotty, or Jakob would. Yeah. And also not starting so poorly. And also just doing better about not letting them get second chance. That absolutely killed us for too much of the game. Portland is not a good team. In fact, the things that happened to them on Friday night were similar to what happened last night. They jumped out and had the lead for the first half, and the Rockets overtook them in the third because they suck. They basically roll over and lose. There's a reason why they had lost 9 games in a row at home, because they're not a good team. And in some ways, it's sad that we lost to them. A lot of it is because Ayton showed up back up. If Ayton had not played, if RJ had played, we would have killed them and just won this game. So in some ways, that's a big factor. The scratch of RJ and the addition of DeAndre Ayton during the day. Those were huge factors in what happened. I stand by what I said in my preview yesterday when I thought that Ayton wouldn't play, and I thought RJ would. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Zach Edey would be fire. All right, I like that. I'm giving Dana a 2-finger salute for the refs. Let's do it together. That's for you, Kevin Cutler, and your bullshit ass jump balls that are not legit. These are very much favored. You're bringing it up with one hand and pushing it off with the other hand as you bring the other one up. We can see what you're doing. We can see what you're doing. That ball is not going up in an unbiased way. It's biased in the spin and the direction it's going. We see it. Let's see. Nameless is saying this game was like a 4-point game in the standings. We're directly competing with Portland for lottery odds. There's an invested interest to lose. We need to continue to lose to teams like Charlotte, Washington, and Detroit. There needs to be more sudden DMPs due to tankitis moving forward. See, I see what Nameless is doing here, and I don't disagree. In some ways, this is the way we keep our sanity. We understand and rationalize this from the standpoint of, well, we bottom out. This is better for us in this shitty ass hellish year all together. Might as well. If we don't want to be half-assed and caught in the subway doors, we need to just stay on the subway platform and not try and get in the subway and go to the play-in like we were before Scott got hurt, which was very earnestly our plan. Scott got hurt. Jakob got hurt. Well, that all goes out the window. And in some ways, losing to bad teams, like we're going to play the Pistons this week, well, let's see what happens in that game. Is there going to be a mysterious DMP that comes all of a sudden right before the game, and it really does hurt our chance to beat the Pistons, who are playing better these days? Once again, I'll say that. And people will just look at it from the outside. Some of the casual fans will say, look at their record of the Portland Trailblazers and look at the Raptors, and they can't even beat them. They're going to judge all their bullshit on that kind of shit. People that are not looking at it in any kind of depth, but from shallow surface level. They will look at things and they don't understand it. We look at it very deeply here, and we understand all the deep reasons why things are happening the way they do in Raptors world. Some people can have a superficial view of it, look at it, the standings in the newspaper, and just decide, well, the Raptors are this and this and this. And they can have their own opinion. That's fine. But we understand what's going on and what's going on with our team internally and why it is the way it is. It very much may be tankitis kind of DMPs going forward. This is what we did in Tampa. If the Masai and Bobby understand the success that it took to get Scotty Barnes drafted for us, well, they're going to do it again now. They're going to do it again now. and they're going to protect that pick from San Antonio. And that's exactly right. In some ways, I want to get to 30 wins, but does that jive with what I just said? Getting the 30 wins may not be helpful for us. In some ways, it may be just an aesthetic thing. I don't want to have a 20-win season. I hate that. It sounds awful. But that may be the best thing for us in the current state. It may be the best thing. Cowboys saying by this time in the season, losing is winning at this point. That's where we're coming around to right here. Maybe wearing the purple hat and being on this wall every time after games is actually a good thing. Very celebratory. Let's see. G saying Gobert basically said the refs are manipulated by betting. Yeah. Luka said it too. Luka did the same exact thing this season to Scott Foster also. That's what I'm saying. The players are in on it. We know too. Tim Donaghy and Scott Foster's connection is very well known. And it's funny that everybody's targeting y'all be cheating, this kind of stuff, to Scott Foster directly because he's a lightning rod. He is very much the face of corruption in the refs in the NBA. In some ways, his existence in the NBA is a black eye that in some ways, they can't get rid of him because I feel like he knows the whole thing and he crushed the whole league. In some ways, he's holding it against them. I'll bet you they would get rid of Scott Foster if they could because of his ties with Tim Donaghy, but he has the goods on them. And if they tried to get him out, he would bring the whole fucking shebang down. Seriously. I think that's what it is. I think they would have got rid of Scott Foster and his hating Chris Paul ass if they could have a long time ago. But it's kind of like he's made. It's kind of like he knows too much. And if he goes out, he's going to sing like a bird. And he may destroy the whole league. So in some ways, that may be what he has on them. You let me do what I do, Adam Silver, and you let me gamble. You let me bet. You let me make tons and tons of illicit, illegal money gambling. All I can. Yeah. And I'll cheat these games, and I'll just make a huge amount of money secretly behind the scenes because I have the control of this. I have mafia people that are looking out for me because they make money off of me also. And I'm just too deep. And you have me too deep, and I will destroy everything. I will set this house on fire if you come after me. I feel like this is exactly what's going on with Scott Foster. That he has the goods on the whole league. And if they do fucking fire him, he'll bring the whole thing down with him. And I mean, this stuff is all on point. When Scotty said you're cheating, and he got so mad and threw him out like that, no warning, no technical before, 2 technicals that quick for one statement, you're cheating. Why are you so sensitive, Scott Foster? Why are the refs so corrupt? Is it the sports betting is open and it's just open for business and y'all are all about business? You have been all along. In some ways, I'd love to see somebody audit Scott Foster's belongings, his assets, his house, his bank account, how much money he actually has, how much money he has, and how much money is a referee paid. And does this line up? Does he have an extraordinary amount of money that doesn't make any fucking sense? That's what I want to know, FBI. That's what I want to know, law enforcement. Seriously, y'all need to go look at this. And I know before David Stern, he would have stopped Daniel Stern, Home Alone. No, David Stern, he was a pit bull and he kept y'all away. He was a lawyer and he fucking did a patsy. Put it on Tim Donaghy and tied it up in a little bow and thought, oh, this will never happen again. Nah, Foster's still around. The allegations are still there and they ring true. So it's like, I don't know. Is David Stern that bulldog? Is Adam Silver that kind of guy? Yeah, he's that kind of guy. He's a fucking shark, a lawyer, a guy who will do anything to keep the cash cow of the NBA going. He'd probably kill people to keep the NBA going. He would probably have people murdered to protect the racket of the NBA and the money fucking making scheme of things. If somebody found out too much, I bet you he'd get them rubbed out. I bet you he'd get some organized crime involved and somebody go missing. Just like people talk about people missing around the Clintons and shit. Yeah, somebody might go missing if they found out too much about it and they had the goods on them with the proof that the NBA is corrupt with their referees and sports gambling at this point. It is a real thing. And we know, we're not stupid. The players know too. They're in the middle of it. They know, we know. Fucking NBA, stop acting like we're stupid. We understand what y'all are doing. You're fucking corrupt. You are corrupt as fuck. All right, let me keep going. Yeah, let's go. Lex rants are legendary. Thank you, Bradley. I appreciate that. Kareem saying soon these betting companies will replace referees in these parlays and derail sports forever. That's part of why I don't even know if I want to continue doing this channel, is because I want to take a chronicalization of the downfall of sports in general because of the implementation of sports betting. I can see all the wrinkles and the sad things are going to happen. We can remember what it used to be like and how it's gotten worse and worse over time. In some ways, I'll sound like an old fuddy-duddy that will talk about the old days when it was so like not corrupt, and now it's so fucking corrupt. It's just horrible. I mean, what is the point? You can push me away from wanting to do this channel, Adam Silver and Scott Foster. You corrupt pieces of shit that took the game that I love and fucking made it into a cash cow of fucking cesspool of fucking cheating and lying and bullshit. Fuck, man. I hate you guys so much for ruining the NBA of Bird and Magic and Jordan and making it become what it has become today. Y'all really stupid. Everything just for that. No, you'll sell out your fucking life, your family, your grandmother, your mother, the fucking nature in this world to just for this. And this is nothing. This isn't even real. It's imaginary. You won't feel better because you have a big bank account. Well, you're miserable anyway. Even if you have that money, you fucks. That's not where you get happiness from. Happiness is from love and connection and humanity and having connection to living life and life itself. Y'all are connected to this. We are miserable, shallow lives that are fucking have no meaning. You guys have meaningless lives. Everybody's chased their bank account doubling and quadrupling. You have lived meaningless lives. I hate to tell you that. You've chased some imaginary system that's full of shit and is anti-human and is absolutely going to be the end of humanity by the end of it. Y'all can talk about all this great money you made, shareholders' profits. Oh my gosh, I netted another $1 billion this year, guys. Well, it ain't gonna fucking matter when this planet's too hot and we're all dead. Your money ain't gonna matter shit. The rich and the poor will die together. And you fucks that made all this money will be the cause of it. You will be the engine that drove us to this point. And you did it for imaginary money in the short term. You didn't even think about the long-term sustainability for the generations after you. You only cared about now and having 3 yachts and having 4 residences? You fucks. You short-sighted fucks that chose this over this in the heart. Yeah, you can get what you get eventually. All of us will, because we're in the same boat with you, you fucking greedy shitheads. And that's what I'm going to say. If you live your life where you choose this over this, you are fucking the downgrade of society and the down decline, and we will all perish because of you. Yeah, we will. It's so important to have gas cars, and we're going to destroy the environment. We're going to make us all heat up and just die from the overwhelming extreme heat on this planet. Well, all you oil barons, all you fuck faces that have big industry with your pollution, you are to blame for the demise and extinction of humanity when it happens in the next 100 years. You will be to blame. It will be solely your goddamn faults. And if you don't think that I'm right, you think I'm crazy that this is not going to happen? Well, why the fuck is it spring already right now in this country right now? Why the fuck has all the things in the environment have woken up like it's spring? Because the climate is all fucked up and on crazy ass schedule because we are manipulating it with CO2 emissions and things that are causing this environment to go all crazy. There's weird ass fucking currents out in the ocean that are not normal, that are telltale signs like a canary in a coal mine that this planet is changing because we are changing it with our behaviors. The things that we do as humans with the cars and everything like this started, 100 years ago? Think about when the car was invented and when we started polluting this place. And think about how much has changed over 100 years. You can look at all the scientific graphs of temperatures and things that happen with this world over time, and everything's just shooting up since industrialization. I'm telling y'all right now, we are the ones that are killing this planet, and it's all for this. You're not going to have great-grandchildren, motherfucker, even though you got $5 billion, Jeff Bezos, whatever fucking money you got. You ain't going to have no offspring. You ain't going to have nothing because everybody will be dead because you thought it was so cool to fucking make as much money and profit off people that just want to piss, and you're timing them down to the fucking second. Yeah, you can bleed that fucking bleed out of the rock
until he squeezes it dry and there's nothing left and we're all fucking just corpses and we have no offspring and nobody's living on this planet. The only things that will live are the plants, and they will live on and they will live on their own way and they'll figure it out. And the rest of us will be fucking gone. We will be gone. Sorry. All right. Epic rant. All right. I'm done. All right. Let's keep going. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Tom's here. Look at that. Choo-choo. I like that. G saying the refs are legally betting themselves or through family and friends and may not even have everything to do with the league. Looks like it's become more and more about the personal gain. That's what I'm saying. Somebody audit Scott Foster. Somebody get to his house and go check his accounts. Go find his offshore accounts. Go find whatever fuckery he's doing to fucking hide the fucking fortune he's making with organized crime. Just do that, please. We know if he's doing it, he's with the mafia. Seriously. Because Donaghy was with the mafia, well, he would be with them too. In some ways, Scott Foster was smarter than Tim Donaghy because he never got caught directly. In some ways, they're going to protect him. Adam Silver going to protect him because I told you why. Because he can bring the whole house down. It's such a bad situation in all kinds of ways. And you're exactly right, G. In some ways, Adam Silver, well, if you didn't want this to happen, maybe you thought you could get more of a control of it if it's legal. And you say, well, they're doing it all anyway, illegally behind my back. Let's just make it legal. No, that makes it even worse because you're normalizing sports gambling in society. And what does this get to this point? When people are going to start sports gambling on their children's games, you've already got a problem with parents out in pocket at hockey games and youth things, and referees don't want to ref anymore because parents are abusive. Just imagine it gets so degenerative in society that this is being betted on with children's games at some point. Like, seriously, where's the line on this shit? Where's the line on fucking sports betting and the insult and the fucking tarnishing of fair competition and the competition? Where is the line? When does this stop? When are you going to ruin fucking this? You're going to ruin it eventually. There's going to be a scandal and it's going to all go up in fuckery because of it. One of the major sports will have a scandal at some point. One of the main four. It's probably likely to be the NBA because it's way more out in the open with faces and people out there, and you can see the referees, how fucked up they are in a lot more clear ways. Maybe it happens in MLB. Maybe it has to do with strike zone. Maybe it has to do with some bullshit flags on an NFL field. Maybe it has to do with something in hockey. I wouldn't give you the equivalent because I don't fucking know it. I don't know how they would manipulate hockey. In some ways, maybe that is why I should get into hockey. Because in some ways, maybe you can be manipulative with hockey, a sport that just doesn't score that often. I don't know. It's crazy. The Nameless is saying our front office is adjusting strategy. They didn't predict Toronto being so low post Jakob trade. And a top pick is too much. They're trying to maximize the situation, divert a crisis. Yeah, you got to make the best of whatever happens. Scotty broke his hand. That was not planned. You got to pivot and figure out the plan after that. And, well, that's what we're doing. Cowboys got Tom Dukes in the house. That's right. Choo-choo. Choo-choo. Tankitis. Oh, look at that. Yeah. You know, RJ's apparently he threw up. Apparently, he puked all over the place right before the game. Some of y'all saw him warming up before the game. They're seeing him shooting around in Portland. He's going to play. No, he puked in between the shoot around and coming out to play. And they say, I don't feel well enough to play. Well, okay. He's probably telling the truth. He could be. I'm sure he is. I mean, is Darko going to lie in the press conference? Oh, he threw up right before the game. I believe that he threw up. And if he threw up right before the game, I understand why he didn't play. But that's also convenient. For Tankitis. Yeah, it's a little convenient. Yeah, good morning, Rabbit Freak family. Let's go and let's grow. Tom Duke, that's right. Wayne saying, my beef is with Darko's decision to play McDaniels in the overtime period. That dude didn't fuck up too much, but still didn't deserve to be in the game at that particular time. Happy for Boucher. This is something that people were critical about him for not starting Grady in the overtime and Jalen instead. It's an interesting look. Like, if you notice, he put Jalen out with Chris pretty quick, and it was fun. At one point, I was like, Chris can't be in two places, but Jalen can be out there with him, and then Chris is in two places. Because at one point in the game, Chris was at one end of the court doing stuff offensively, and Jalen was at the other end with the block at the other end. I like what Jalen McDaniels did last night. I thought that he was very active, and he was very helpful. He played 25 minutes. He was 2 of 3 from the field. He didn't take a lot of shots. 4 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. Now, this is the thing. McDaniels has gotten a lot of DMPs also, and we haven't seen him play, but he showed some really good talent that's very eye-opening last night. Darko was very happy with Jalen McDaniels last night, and I think that's part of the reason why he played him in the overtime, because he said he came in the second, and he absolutely tore it up for us on the boards. So I think part of it was that he wanted to reward Chris and Jalen for their really good active play on the boards last night. And that's why they were playing in the overtime. In some ways, Chris was doted over Kelly near the end of the game because he rose to the occasion. I like coaches that do this, that go with the hot hand or play the guys that have really gone above and beyond and reward them. I feel like that's a big part of why Jalen got the call in overtime. Grady was mixed. In some ways, honestly, Darko said that Grady kind of was doing rookie mistakes on defense. So in some ways, he may have felt like Grady, I don't know. I feel like he did put Grady in because he saw them get a big margin on us in the overtime, and he knew we needed offense to catch up. And then he put Grady in at that point. But I could totally see the argument that Jalen McDaniels had no business playing in the overtime at all. And I may actually agree with y'all. I think that maybe Grady should have been in there right from the start of the overtime. And maybe our offense would have gotten going better than 30 seconds to go with the first field goal. So, yeah, that may have been a mistake by Darko. I'll agree with that. But it was partly because he was rewarding the hard work that McDaniels put in for the game. G saying, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would say, embrace the tank. Don't let this game ruin your day. Touch grass and enjoy the day, people. There you go, G. I appreciate you, man. I'm going to give you a dunk for being awesome and just kind of, giving me some grounding and positivity. Because honestly, I have had a bad weekend. Not a very happy weekend in a couple of areas, not just in Raptors areas. So it is affecting my temperament on this for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Nameless is saying minimum 2 to 4 hours, Tomcat. All right, let's see. Tommy's saying probably can last until the draft too. All right, let's keep going. Cowboys saying another channel is spreading the Raptors are favored to land Ben Simmons. What the fuck do you think, Lex and Raptor Freaks? Why? Who's saying that? Is that the idiot? Oh, he who shall not be named. Wow, I'm so glad we haven't talked to him about all that. No, that's a ridiculous idea. Our front office is smart. Why do they think this? Does this person think our front office is dumb? Because that doesn't make any sense to me. Listen, this is what's going to happen with Ben Simmons. We all know what's going to happen. He's going to get offered a veteran minimum. He's going to refuse it and he's going to retire. It's not going to be on anybody's team. He's so arrogant and stupid. In some ways, he's already made enough money for his life. He doesn't ever have to play again. And does it seem like he wants to play? No, he doesn't. He made up bullshit excuses about his mental health and all this kind of shit just to fucking miss games. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to make light of mental health. Trust me, I deal with it myself. I deal with it with a lot of people, but in some ways I'm pissed at him for using it as a vehicle and trying to make it something. Listen, you want to talk about mental health, talk about it like DeMar. Don't talk about it like where I'm a sucky person and I don't show up because of this. I don't even understand how you made the NBA if you're not mentally strong. How the fuck did you get so far in your career if you're such a pussy is what I'm fucking saying to you right now, Ben Simmons. In some ways, it's like, look, your contract's going to run out. They're going to say, we're going to pay you $2 million this year. Some people would take that and love it. And many of the G League guys would run with it. But your spoiled ass is probably going to say, it's not good enough. I've just made $30 million this past year. You want to pay me $2 million this year? I'm sorry, I'm retiring. That's exactly what's going to happen. That motherfucker ain't got no future in the NBA. He's going to get paid what he deserves, and he's going to be too above it. Watch. It's never about mental health. It's about a fucking piece of shit that's so into himself that he doesn't even see himself and how much of a fucking loser he is. So, yeah, he's a quitter. He gives up. He even played a game against us recently. He gave up in the first minute of the game. I couldn't believe how quickly he gave up when he played the Raptors the last time we played him. So, yeah, fuck him. Anybody who thinks that, their credentials should be revoked immediately. Anybody who's saying that sounds like some troll ass person who's masquerading as a Raptors channel and putting out bad information for people to follow. That's what that sounds like to me right there. Jill's here. Good morning, peeps. Morning, cowboy. Good morning to you, Jill. Let's see. Jill's saying, I see the Ben Simmons idea as a Woj update. Wowie. It's a Woj update? Is it seriously on Woj? All right, let me see this. Is it actually Woj that's saying this? Because this does not make any fucking sense. You know, I'll tell you this. Scotty does like Ben Simmons. He does like him. He's talked about him a lot on his channel, on his Twitch. He said that he thinks his game's really good and that he actually really like respects it a lot. So let me see. Is Woj actually saying some bullshit like this? I'm looking at his thing, and if he doesn't say it, y'all are telling me bullshit. Are you sure it's not a fake Woj account? Because you guys gotta understand, there's like a bunch of fake Woj accounts. Y'all need to follow just one Woj account. There's only one. Joe, if you're giving me bad information, because I didn't see that on Woj's account, just so you know, I just looked at it. There's nothing about Ben Simmons and the Raptors on there. So please, let's be factual when you come here with stuff for me, please. Nameless saying, I think Toronto might end up picking second. I'm feeling lucky. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I just want to keep it. I feel like if we're in the top 6, we'll be good either way. We'll be good either way. Cowboys saying, not if the refs are involved, Nameless. What, are they going to be involved in the ping pongs? Maybe they will come out there and say, this ball was illegal and you have to re-ping pong it. The Raptors got the second pick. No, this is an illegal ping pong and redo it. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Jill saying, too bad RJ threw up before the game. Yeah, that's too bad. Things happen. Nameless saying, I don't expect Toronto to win more than 5 games for the remainder of the season. That's being generous. There could be many more flare-ups of tankitis to help facilitate this. Well, the next game to really look at this is Detroit. We're going to Denver tomorrow. Of course, we're going to lose to Denver in Denver. But on Wednesday, we're going to go and see the Pistons in Detroit. Toronto West, as Matt and Jack were saying on the broadcast last night. I love that. In fact, we had a good contingency last night. We had a very good crowd in Portland last night, getting very loud. Let's go Raptors chants. And really getting up when we started making our surge to come back. We had a good crowd in Portland's building last night. And I love it. All you people that went across the border from BC, all you Northwest Raptors fans, whether you're in the States or Canada, respect from the Raptors Freak family, from me to you, showing up for our team. Seeing so many of you on the camera last night was fantastic and heartwarming. That made me very, very happy. And that was a bright spot about last night for sure. For sure. That's right. I don't know how many more games are going to win the rest of the season. Well, if we don't win on Wednesday, that will tell you something. If we don't beat the Pistons on Wednesday night, that will tell you something. In some ways, there may be forces inside of us that are very happy with that. Let's just say that. Wayne saying, Lex, Delano was in Boston with Lethal Shooter. His improvement in being able to consistently make shots is not our development. Nobody in our system over time shoots consistently. Gary comes closest. I'm going to disagree with you. I know that Lethal Shooter worked with him in Boston too, but he worked with him here too. Lethal Shooter came and worked with him here in Toronto also. Delano's shot was getting really good. In fact, it was very good the summer before the last year he played for the Raptors. He was in South America playing for Team Canada in the underage group, men's team, and he was killing it. He's had a good shot on G League. I saw it. That's why I was so mad last year when he was not getting utilized between the Raptors and 905 correctly. He wasn't getting any time on the Raptors, and he wasn't getting sent to the G League either. So it's kind of like he was in a limbo where he didn't get to play at all. He went from playing so much his rookie year, playing all the 905 games, all the Raptors games he could, playing all summer league, Team Canada, to nothing from September until the end of last year. And that's Nick Nurse's fault. Now, he had that shooting going on then. It's just that we didn't get to see it because Nick buried the team on purpose with his sabotage. So I'll agreed but disagreed. Lethal Shooter had a factor in Delano, but he was working with him with us too. Lethal Shooter came to the OVO Center the last year, Nick and Delano. So he was working with him before, even with Boston. And Delano's shot was looking good before he went to the Celtics. We can't give credit to the Celtics on this. A lot of the development that happened with Delano was here in Toronto because he was wearing Celtics for like 3 months, dude. You can't act like they had a huge place in it. It was really more us. It's just we didn't utilize it. We let him walk, and he went. I don't know whose decision that was. A lot of people are regretting it, I'm sure, right now. In some ways, it may have been best for his growth, and maybe there were issues with him being in his hometown. Then he needed to go no matter what. So there's all kinds of reasons why we're not getting the benefit of his huge jump recently. It's too bad, but it is what it is. We can't go back and change it. Jillian's saying IQ. What IQ? What? What is that statement, Jill? Let's see. Nameless is saying, I bet we draft second overall this season. I've got this lucky feeling. I already read that. You wrote that twice? I guess I read that twice. Firebolt's here. East Coast is in the house with the time change, getting up a little earlier today. It's annoying, isn't it? If I'm not wait, let me hang on. No. Yeah. Here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Tough end to the game, but I'm damn proud of our guys for the way they dug into the comeback. Yeah, that was awesome, Carla, wasn't it? We got to be proud of the way guys are fighting, underhanded and not as talented without Scotty and Jakob. They're putting in valiant efforts, and we really see them working hard, busting their asses, hitting the ground hard. You know, Kelly hits the floor so often, and you hear about Kyle Lowry. When he take all those charges, the bumps and bruises he takes, well, Kelly's taking that kind of shit too on the down low. There is a body sacrifice for playing so physical like Kyle Lowry and Kelly Olynyk do. And in some ways, we need to be proud of that. It's a losing time, and Kelly's still sacrificing his body. That's something else right there. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. What a fun game. I didn't feel like it was that fun. It kind of really made me mad. Happy that Boucher had a great game. Boucher should have had a free throw after tying the game because the Blazers fouled him at the knees. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways they could have manipulated. If it was the Celtics, they probably would have called it and given them a free throw to win the game at the last second. You know, it depends on the team. It depends on the player. It depends on the situation. It depends on that also. Cool Cat saying, shout out to Delano. Awesome game. Very happy from Big 45, Big 5. Big 5. Alley-oop. All right. Nameless saying, I think IQ can be even better than Maxey. I think so too. I'm not going to limit him. I'm going to say that Maxey is better than IQ. I believe our guy can be better than him. I'm with that. Yeah, Cool Cat saying refs are allowing physical defense in games. Refs didn't want Raptors to win it all. Typical game. That's because of that. Cool Cat, watch the beginning of my stream. You can hear the whole rant about this. You may have had a fun time watching that game last night, but I did not. I was very mad. Cowboy saying Skipley will be better than Maxey. All right, I like what you guys are saying. Jill's saying, yes, IQ can be better, Pale Poppy, because Tyrese needs Joel to succeed. That's not totally true. They haven't had Joel recently, and Maxey's been blowing up, making big things. But in some ways, you're right. They don't win. But still, Tyrese can be his own person without Joel Embiid involved with him on his own team. It's just in some ways that is his dude, and the whole world revolves around Embiid in Philadelphia. That's for sure. Wayne saying, Jill, IQ was not developed by us. He just came here. Please understand the narrative. Yeah, I don't know what she's saying to you. In some ways, like I don't know why she's trying to come up with who we developed and got better. Or so, I don't know what she's trying to do. What was your point, Wayne? It was about like developing shooters or just Delano specifically. We weren't even talking about IQ. We do develop people. We have a very good track record of developing people. So I don't agree with Wayne saying we don't develop people, because I feel like we've developed a lot this year with the people we got this year. We didn't develop last year, though. Last year was a really shitty year for developing. We didn't develop Koloko correctly. We didn't develop Delano correctly. They fucked up Jeff Doughton. They did all kinds of – it was Nick. It was obviously Nick Nurse and his fuckery, his fucking sabotage shit. And people are paying attention and look real close like we do day to day, saw it. Casuals that just like accept Nick Nurse as a champion coach wouldn't want to believe that he would do this kind of shit. Well, they don't see it. We see it. The development of Delano dropped the ball. The development of Koloko dropped the ball. Nick Nurse's fault. Yeah. Let's see. Firebolt saying, if I'm not the development before Nick, OG, Pascal, Fred, those are development stories. Chris Boucher is a development story. RJ, in the little bit of time since he's expanded a little bit with his passing. That's developing. IQ is developing right now and becoming and exploding more. It's not that he's passed some of the stuff he's done with the Knicks yet, but he's doing it more often on a higher level consistently here because he's starting. So there's development. I mean, Grady's a really good development story this year. And so is Scotty. Scotty is a huge leap this year. So let's see. Firebolt saying, if I'm not mistaken, in the WNBA now, final 2 minutes of the game out of bounds calls are all video reviewed would be a great rule to bring over. It's the same in the G League too. That's why I'm mystified by that shit not happening. It's like they conveniently forget one of the rules or just one of the things they can do. I mean, the fact that they don't even occur to them that they should go look at the video tells me that they're railroading things, that they're writing it and manipulating it away. We just accept their rules. It's like in society, y'all, laws are fucking full of shit. Just because a law is in effect doesn't mean it's right. There can be all kinds of laws out there that are not just or morally right. You should not just blindly follow laws because sometimes laws are fucked up. Let's just put it that way. And I will say this, and it may make me sound like an outlaw or a fucking not a good person in society, but I believe this is true, that there's a lot of unjust laws in this world and that people should have people should like rebel against them. In some ways, just because the authority of the refs tells us that this is a jump ball, that's fucking bullshit. We can see the truth in this. The ball went off Simons. And that's what I'm saying. Reject authority when it's unjust. Reject the law or the rules when it's obvious they're corrupt. When it's obvious that they are not working for the people. And when it's obvious that the rules and the laws are not here to protect us or help the people or for the people in consensus. Often a lot of the rules and laws in society benefit very rich people or are part of the games. And in some ways, those laws are corrupt and unjust, and they deserve to be broken. Those laws deserve to be broken. There's a lot of laws in society right now, especially ones that have to do with economics, should be broken. I have no problem with people stealing food from Galen Weston and Loblaws. You go in there and fucking steal a fucking cartload of food and run out with it. Those fuckers are stealing way more from the top than y'all will ever on the bottom. And that's what I'm saying. Some laws are not just. Some people say, you're endorsing stealing. Well, if they're stealing from the top, yeah, I'm endorsing somebody to go feed their child. If they ain't got no money, go in there and fucking take that shit from Loblaws. Yeah, I say go do it. Go do it. Because Galen Weston is robbing it from us on the top. Shrinkflation, trickflation, all the fucking inflations these fucks are doing right now. That's what I'm saying. Laws, just because it's a law doesn't mean it's right. If that law is fucking wrong, break it. And have no problem being a lawbreaker. Because there's a lot of bullshit rules and laws out there that aren't just. And they deserve to be broken. Let's just put it that way. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Yeah. And this is the thing. We don't make the rules anymore. These big corporations are making these laws and rules. And they don't have us in mind. They have themselves in mind. And that's why I say break those fucking laws. Fucking shoplift. I don't give a shit. Go in there and fucking shoplift everything you need. Because those motherfuckers stole from you already. Trust me. They already stole from you. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. That's what I'm saying. Those refs, I don't believe in their rules. They're cheaters, just like Scotty said, and it's all about the money. So why should I respect their rules or the jump ball they called? It was obviously bogus as fuck. Let's see. CountryCon saying, Lex, did you see Chris Boucher last night? He played great. It was nice to see his trademark hustle out there on the court. He even hit a clutch three. It looks like he's not ready to be a vet quite yet. Well, he's a vet. You mean just like being on the bench, break in case emergency? I mean, look, Darko's playing and he's playing at a high level. He has to keep playing him. That's part of it. If Chris in times the season dogged it or he didn't play up to snuff, that may have been part of the reason why he got a string of DMPs. But he's showing up. He's producing. He should be continuing to play. In some ways, that puts the pressure on Darko because everybody sees how much he's doing well. Well, he's going to have to keep playing. And everybody who wants Chris to play should be happy. In some ways, if he doesn't play him, people get mad at him. Well, then in some ways that will make Darko look like he's not doing a good job. And he has to be aware of that. So in some ways, Chris playing very well is ensuring he's going to get more minutes. If Chris had went out there and he didn't play that well, Darko could DMP him and everybody would understand why. So this is good. In some ways, I want to see this. But once again, I'll get this argument from before. Is it more important to play Chris, who we know and may not be a part of our team next year? Or is it more important to play Jonte Porter right now? Think about that, CountryCom. That's what I say. I agree. I love Chris. He played excellent last night. He's my number one star of the game. Best player for us last night. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Saturday. The refs were on some serious BS yesterday. It was so flagrant. Kevin Cutler is on my list now. And his big tool, his move is the jump ball. It very much is. He can do a very, very biased jump ball. He's not throwing balls straight up in the air. He's flipping them to one side. I can see it. He did it. He's done it 3 times now. He did it twice in the game last night. He did it on the first jump ball, and he did it on the overtime jump ball also. He even did it on that jump ball a little bit on the thing when they got the possession after going out of bounds on Simons. So he did it like consistently 3 times. 3 times last night he did that shit, and he did it against us in Brooklyn with Brooklyn too. So I've counted him doing 4 times now. So that's his move. It's like the refs have different moves of fucking cheating. Well, Kevin Cutler's is to throw a biased jump ball. It very much is. Let's see. Cowboys saying good morning to Fiercey. The way Delano played yesterday, this is what we expected of him when he was with us. Unfortunately, previous coaching wasn't helpful in his development. Yeah, they didn't play him. They forgot him. He overplayed his clutch guys. He overplayed Fred and Pascal and Gary and all those other guys and did not play Delano. And that was very concerted thing by fuckface Nick Nurse. That he did that on purpose in some ways. He probably was trying to hurt our development because he knew he was leaving. Why would he care about our development if he knew he was going to go coach the Sixers? He'd probably sabotage it as much as he could on his way out. So no wonder he didn't play Koloko or Banton all last year. No wonder. He probably had it all figured out. Blackhawk saying it's not about winning or losing. It's about playing the right way and finding out who the next man is. Grady, Gary, Oshai, question mark, Nwara, question mark. I'd say you say Grady and Gary checks, but Oshai and Nwara, question mark. Yeah, I can get behind that. And I like your philosophy too, Neil. I think it's right. It's not about winning or losing at this point. It's about playing the right way, getting good habits, playing correctly, and just making a good effort. And that's what they're doing. And that I can't get mad at that. You're exactly right. Yeah. Jill saying, I tell Raptors what I think every time they send me that sports duel crap. Good. You should, Jill. More of us rejecting it. In some ways, the broadcasters reject it. Leo and them hate the betting part of the broadcast. They've been doing this so long. This never was a part until recent years. And I feel like the old heads like Paul Jones, Sherman Hamilton, and Leo Routens kind of reject the betting, the Bet Rivers ads and the bullshit that's around the broadcast now. That Wilson Chang guy, they made fun of him. They kind of rejected him. They're like, why are you here? We don't want this part of this on this broadcast. We're supposed to be a sports information, not a sports betting channel. You know, we're supposed to be covering the basketball, not the spreads. And seriously, I don't understand how Adam Silver is so dumb that he can't understand how he's going to end his league this way. Like, this path is really bad, and you're going to fuck this league up. Now, you're going to kill people and eventually to cover it up and save things, just like Vince McMahon probably killed people to cover up bullshit for WWF. You know, Owen Hart is mysterious, and you know, there's a lot of mysterious deaths around wrestlers that are fucked up. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past Vince McMahon to have people snuffed out if they were a problem. So I wouldn't put it past Adam Silver to do the same damn thing for his cash cow. $1 billion big business will protect $1 billion big business. And they will even do shady ass mafioso shit, like kill somebody. I'll bet you they would. NBA, you're probably going to kill someone at some point because of the betting in your sport. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think the probability the NBA has already killed someone, it may be high. If not, it's going to be for sure at some point. Is there somebody who died at some point in the last 20 years because of something they know about the NBA and Tim Donaghy and sports betting? I'll bet you there is. I'll bet you there's a story we'll never know because it was covered up and taken care of by the fucking mafia NBA, David Stern or Adam Silver since. I'm telling you, this kind of shit is probably true. Alley-oop to the Raptor Street. Okay, thank you, Cowboy. Giving me an alley-oop. All right, I'll take it. I'm really annoyed today. I'm like really mad. Like, I seriously could go out and take a boxing course right now and just need to work this shit out. I just want to fucking hit a heavy bag right now. I'm so mad right now. Let's see. Fiercely saying, honestly, had we played hard like that after time since the first quarter, we would have won, even if the refs were helping the other team. I agree. There's all kinds of things that could have balanced this for us to win. In some ways, they may have finagled or did weird shit with this by changing who was going to be in the game at the last minute. Like Ayton, Scoot Henderson, they allow the Trailblazers a much better chance. There could have been earlier bets. You know, somebody could have watched my stream in the morning and say, well, the Raptors sound like a sure bet. Raptor Streak sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to put money on the Raptors. They could have fooled people and put the money on the Blazers and then taken all that money because of the last minute changes of RJ Barrett sitting out, DeAndre Ayton playing, and just the refs fuckery. So you're right, Fiercey. There's a lot of different things that could have gone differently last night where the Raptors would have got the win. And starting better is a big one. If they had just started better, that would have helped a lot. The team stats were not that good. In some ways, we ended up shooting the same as them by the end, but they got 12 more shots than us. Both shooting 47%. We made the same amount of threes, and we didn't shoot as well, though. Free throws, we got 4 more free throws than them, and we were 16 and 19. They were 14 and 15. They did out-rebound us by 9, and that's just going to happen without Jakob. They had more assists. They had way more. They had 13 stocks. We had 15. 20 turnovers really killed us too. That's another thing. The second chance points for the Blazers and our turnovers absolutely killed us. If we are a little more cleaned up with not turning the ball over, making open shots, that could have been a huge difference and helped us win too. So those are all factors. Turnovers, second chance, starting better. And, we can get past the referees. We could beat 8-on-5, even with no RJ, even with no Scotty and Jakob. It's crazy. It's crazy. Next time, I'll keep my mouth shut. Yeah, don't call him that anymore. You keep calling him dominating. I refuse to say that, even though it's true. He dominated us a bit. But I don't like giving the other side good nicknames like that. I'm much likely to call him Flaky Aiton, or something like that. I don't want to call him dominating. In some ways, I'm not going to read it if you write it in there, Fiercey, because it's true. Without Jakob, we don't have a fight. He doesn't dominate when Jakob's out there. It's only when nobody else is out there. I was saying yesterday he's not going to play. Well, I really thought that. I didn't know he was going to come back last night. In some ways, I'm not totally on the tabs of the Blazers and their injuries, so I didn't know that he was forecasted to possibly come back last night. It said that he was out in the morning when I did my preview. Well, that's a huge factor, DeAndre Ayton playing, and it sucks. I hated that he played. Let's see. Jill saying 11:30. Please don't have a heart attack. Drink water. Thank you, Jill. That's very kind. I am going to finish up soon. I know I started at 10:30, and I'm already only just 90 minutes, but I don't care. I want to finish up soon. I'm going to juice today, and like I said, I need to go hit a heavy bag. Fiercely saying, not sure if you already discussed RJ's illness. Raptors posted him shooting prior to the game. Hope he's played tomorrow. Yeah, I did talk about it. He threw up immediately after you saw him warm up. He went to the back, threw up, and he didn't play because he threw up like minutes before we were supposed to start. Fiercely saying, it was really nice to see numerous Raptors fans at the game. We could even hear them cheer us. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, Portland's not doing so well. Their own home crowd's not going to do so great. The Canadian fans out there that love the Raptors, or just American fans out there that love the Raptors, they're going to show up when they come through and pass through their one time of the year. So even if they're not in a good place, it's not necessarily the Raptors they wanted to see earlier this season. If they bought the tickets and they traveled from far, maybe they were expecting an Anunoby and Siakam lineup, but they got who they got, and they got to watch the Raptors make a good effort either way, even if they didn't win. So, yeah, it was entertaining for them. I wish that they'd gotten a win for them because those people traveled to come to Portland to watch them, and it's too bad. Wayne saying, Lexicon, the entire Western capitalist system is based on corruption and manipulation. The Italian Football League was rigged through the referees, some in Asia as well. We have to adjust to that fact. No, I get that. It doesn't mean that I have to accept it. In some ways, if I had to be an island on my own, I understand why Peter Griffin made Pretoria and just went on his own. That's part of what I'm going to do is I'm going out there to homestead. If I can be more self-sustainable in my own food and taking care of myself and just excluding myself as much as possible from this bullshit system in general, I will do it. In some ways, if I can create something out there that helps my family and the generations after me could take care of themselves without leaning on Loblaws or Galen Weston or food prices, I will do that. That's what I'm all about right now, is not taking part in the system as much as possible. It's just because everybody accepts this system of how we live today doesn't mean it's right. Just because everybody lives it and they just blindly follow it because it's all they ever known doesn't mean it's right. It just is fucked up. It's people that have duped us and made a system where they can really make gross amounts of money, and it's not humanitarian. When I see people down at the end of the street in tents in the park, and that's a problem right here. If we were a better species, we'd be like the ants. We'd be like the birds. We'd be like the elephants. We'd be like the animals that care about each other and actually go look out for each other. We've seen animal tests where the animals will actually give extra surplus of items to other animals to help them live. We've seen in trees and plants ways that they behave and grow to help other things around them to grow in symbiosis. For some reason, we've decided we are all egotistical and only give a shit about ourselves and making our own bank accounts grow. And it doesn't have anything to do with community or other people or anything. It's just very egotistical. And that system is that way. In some ways, I'm going to nature to get more connected with nature and where we were supposed to be as the people who are indigenous on this planet already, on this continent, before people that look like me came here. In some ways, I want to get right with nature and life, and fuck that, because that is the evilest thing in this world right now. That is the thing that has duped everybody, and they'll make everybody stab each other in the back, make me sound like I'm crazy because the way I'm talking, I may be the most sane person in this world that is run this way right now because of what I'm saying right now. As I said, just because the majority of people think this is the right way or this is the way, doesn't mean it's the right way. Because in the future, we're going to find out how fucking wrong we were. And it's going to be too late. And all y'all that feel so great about yourself right now with your egocentric shit, like your bank account and your items and the things that you own, they don't matter at a certain point. They don't fucking matter. And the thing that will matter, what has been so lost in our everyday society, that's the problem right now. I don't know. Maybe I sound crazy to some people. But I will tell you, in the long run, I'm going to be right. And you don't have to believe me. You can think I'm a crazy old man. But in the end, I will be right. And people will be like, holy shit. In some ways, holy crap. We may not be the generation that sees this. This may happen after all of our lifetimes. But I will be right in the end. Watch. That will kill us. And we don't go back to this and everybody together, loving the animals in the world, the plants, the trees, the insects. We're going to be fucked. We're going to be fucked. They will go on without us. We will not. We will go away. Just like dinosaurs, just like all the species we killed off in the industrial age also. We're just like them. Doesn't that make sense? We're going to kill all the different birds and insects and animals out there because we're just industrializing and putting pollution out there and encroaching on their environments and putting toxins out there that kill them. Don't you think that we're the same as them? There's all these toxins out there kill us too, eventually. So like, why the fuck are we doing this? It's like you're going to kill all these species. We're going to be the species that gets killed next. Seriously. So I don't know. Y'all want to make your money and it's all about you, ego and this shit. And you're going to kill everybody else. It's just like Bob Marley said. They will do injustice to the whole entire world just to save their own. That's what we're talking about right here. Everybody wants to get their own people taken care of. And they don't give a shit about everybody else. Just take care of me. Take care of my loved ones. Make sure they're set up for life. I don't give a shit. How many billion is enough? I don't know. Get as much. And it doesn't matter if there's like one family that lives in like 5 houses and 500 families that live in the street. You know, that doesn't matter to people because that's the system that gets this. It's inherently evil. It's inherently not humanistic. It's inherently making people have misery. It is a suffering system. And we can all just abide by it and live in it. If you want, go ahead. It's just all we've ever known. We can't fucking change it. Is that just how it is? Oh, well. Because that's in some ways what you're saying, Wayne. That it's just we've got to accept it and just look at it how it is. Well, I would get down to the basics and say, you know what? I think this system is corrupt, is fucked up, and I don't want to participate. So I'm taking myself out of the system as much as possible for the rest of my life. And whatever. If I end up being a crazy old man by himself out in the woods, talking to the chipmunks, I will be that. At least I will know that I stayed true to nature, to this part of life, and not that one as much. And that's the thing. That's the choice we all got to make. That's right. Let's see. All right, let's keep going. Jill saying Sunday is a swear word. Laugh out loud. Alley-oop to Fiercey and the fans. Yeah. Ah, man, I'm so happy about those fans. You got 45 bucks, Fiercey. 45 dunks for Fiercey now. Let's see. Blackhawk saying, hey, Cowboy, they're trying to raise Simmons' value by throwing in the Raptors in the conversation. Yeah, I don't care. Whatever their rumors are or anything, we know Bobby and Masai are not interested in him. If any fan of the Raptors is actually buying into this or likes the idea, just shut the fuck up. That guy is not good for your team in all kinds of ways. And in some ways, even if he's on a discount with that talent, that's not attractive or appealing to me. Trust me. Like I said, I'll predict he's going to walk away from the game when his price tag goes down. He's going to walk away. Watch. Let's see. Wayne saying McDaniels is seen by Darko as a project. Darko is right with Grady's defense. However, we're commenting on the 5-minute overtime only. McDaniels made good decisions, but we needed points early to win. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I didn't like that either. Like when I saw Grady coming in, it's like, well, this is a reaction to being stagnant on our offense. Bring Grady in now, but he brought him in with like 2 minutes to go in the overtime. That was too late. I'll get behind this mistake. If anybody wants to criticize Darko about something, not playing Grady from the start of the overtime may have been a mistake. But you know what? He had a signal that he was going to do this because I don't think he was happy with Grady from the start. I think he started Grady last night at the last minute because RJ threw up, and then Grady did not play good defense and was a part of the reason why they rebounded the hell out of us and got us such a huge lead. If you saw it at halftime, he started JFL instead of Grady Dick. So he was already not happy with Grady by starting Javon Freeman Liberty at halftime. So the signs were there. And he did blame Grady for some of the defensive lapses and the not boxing out kind of stuff that was happening around Ayton and the things that were happening on the court. That's what you get when you start an undersized rookie that's only 20 years old at power forward. That's not a good idea. The idea of starting Grady last night, I didn't agree with it. I would have been much happier if Chris had started in his place in the starting lineup. That would have made more sense. You have Kelly and Chris as your two bigs. That would have made more sense. In some ways, I don't want to make cases to make Darko look bad, but that's what I would have done. That's what I would have done. Seymour saying, so disappointed. Yeah, me too. I'm with you, Cowboy. I mean, not Cowboy, Seymour, Sheriff, so disappointed. Jill saying, on Raptors tonight, they spoke about how the Raptors tried so hard to get to overtime, then ran out of energy afterwards. Sigh. That's not totally what happened. There were some momentum problems. There were really weird times. Like the Raptors called the timeout, and it was really just to get organized for the last little bit of time in the end of the game. That was a good timeout. But Chauncey did a brilliant thing, and he called a double timeout. And that was too much time off. In fact, that was very smart of Billups. Billups did the double over timeout, and that was too much time. We lost some of the momentum that we had. In some ways, Darko calling that timeout was smart to get organized for the stretch run and try and do things, but maybe he shouldn't have because we had the momentum and we had good things going. When we came back from the double timeout, we did not have the offense going again, and that hurt. Some ways I like Darko's early timeouts, but in some that may not have been the right one. And Chauncey was smart. He called a double timeout. Right after his timeout, he called one for Portland. And it extended the time and made them colder and lost their momentum to close the game out. We had it all shifted on our side. They were in trouble. In some ways, we didn't need the stoppage of play right now, then, right at that moment. So, yeah, it's tough. I don't think that they ran out of gas. Kevin Cutler directed the ball to them. They got an 8 and slam, and they got the momentum right away on the overtime. And they were playing good defense. We were not scoring or converting, and they were, and we were not guarding them well. That's part of it. They just jumped out to a 10-point lead in overtime right away, and we didn't score anything. That's a huge problem. They could say there was no energy. Yeah, maybe the energy was expanded to get to overtime. But the refs had a handle in manipulating and shaping the overtime also. And the Kevin Cutler jump ball was right off the bat. Right off the bat. Go watch that jump ball at the beginning of overtime if you can and tell me what you see when you see him put that ball up and how much he directed it to one side. Cool Cat saying the ping pong balls will drop in our favor. Another top pick continue. Yeah. I'm going to be excited to see what happens. I think we have ping pong ball luck, and I hope we do again this year. Seymour saying turkey, bacon, spinach, onions, tomatoes, hash browns, and OJ type morning. There you go. Feed your soul with good, nourishing food, and it will help you feel better. I'm going to do that next too. I got a juice today. I'm going to be cutting up and making a whole bunch of juice today, and that's like a 4-hour process for me. So when I get into that, yeah, I'll be really getting meditative and just thinking about that and turning my mind off from all the other things. Wayne saying, actually, Delano's shot was good even with the G League and the Canadian team. His first NBA shot for us was a made three-pointer. I think my point would be consistency. Making consistent threes is difficult. Yeah, I can see what you're saying, Wayne. I can see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, he's getting more consistent chance. That may be part of it too. You know, you look at Delano physically, and he's much bigger. He's not as skinny and lithe as he was before. He's got a little bit more weight on him. You can tell. and he's got more muscle. And that may be part of it also. Some of it's confidence. Some of it's, he has something to prove. He's been gone from the Raptors and the Celtics now. It didn't work. Well, he's on the Blazers. He's getting a shot with a team that's in a bad place, and he's getting a lot of minutes because of injuries. He's taking care of that advantage, and boom, he's getting in there and taking that chance, and he's doing a great job. I'm proud of him. I really am. I'm not mad at him. Now, if he had been playing with the Celtics and did what he did last night, I'd be pissed at him. But the Blazers, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Isaac saying, oh, man, I missed the second half of the game in OT, but this channel never disappoints. Like and subscribe. Dinosaurs will die, but Raptors will thrive. Thank you, Isaac. Yeah. You know what? I get it. I did the same thing on Friday night with the 905 game. I saw what happened up to halftime, and I was like, I'm turning this off. And I stopped watching it. In some ways, I understand Raptors fans on a Saturday night that stay up late. Why would you stay up later and the time's changing and all this kind of stuff? I'm just going to turn it off. In fact, I knew there were going to be people like you, Isaac, that did not watch the whole entire game and missed out on the crazy comeback and the overtime. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, if we're filling the gaps and telling you what happened later in the game, well, I've done my job today. I've done my job. I appreciate you, Isaac. David's saying, nice to see Banton doing well. Pretty rough night. There were some bright spots at times. There you go, David. I like what you're saying. I agree with you. Slug Deezy's here. It's been a little bit since we've seen Slug Deezy. Good to see you checking in, man. Oshai has been brutal the last few games. I think a little bit that he's on the down low hurt. He got hurt and he didn't play one game, but he's come back. He's weird. In some ways, he surprises me when I least expect it, but he does disappoint me often too. The scoring output could be higher right now, that's for sure. But I do like the intensity of the fight inside. This guy's shorter than most of the guys going in there, and he's battling. He's getting his hands on stuff. He's using his strength to keep the ball alive in rebound battles. And I really commend him for that. I also like his intensity on defense. I feel like he's doing good things with that. Now, if he could make more of his shots, well, it'd be really good. He's done better at times. There's some games where he's made his shots and some games where he hasn't. But I think he's on the down low slightly hurt. I think that's part of the issue right now, Slug DZ. Wayne saying, only point is developing shooters, consistent made shots, not taking shots, making shots. If we were making consistent shots, our record would be better. We have had non-productive periods since Nick Nurse. Yeah. If there was one thing we tried to capitalize on this season with Darko saying no stagnation on offense, 0.5 offense, keep the ball moving. We don't want any long periods of time where we don't score any points. We've been successful for a majority of the season. I would say that we had way more stagnant play last year with Nick in his isolation-heavy system. This year, the Darko system has kept us away from too many dry periods where we don't score. That was with the talented teams that we had, the old team that we traded, and the newer team with the barbecue. When it's healthy and out there, we don't see the stagnation like we have seen in recent games. When the talent is low, the offense is not as good as the defense that's guarding it, well, we can get the stagnation that we get like we did in overtime last night and at the beginning of the game last night. Unfortunately, without RJ and Scotty, it's hard to stir the drink on our offense. And that stagnation is going to happen. But I feel like this year was an improvement with Darko's offensive system from Nick's system last year. It was definitely much worse, the stagnating last year. But we still get Matt Devlin saying the Raptors have not scored since 10 minutes in the second quarter. We still hear shit like that, don't we? Cowboys saying, but not as often. David, and we are right now just because of the state now. But for the majority of the season, it's been pretty good. Cowboys saying, David and Peter later, Lex. Cookie for them. And the Raptors Freak family, we're all good. Everyone have a safe Sunday. There you go, Cowboy. We love you, man. And Tada Services, y'all. If you need Bradley to come to your house to help you with an odd job, 647-833-6844. Call and ask for Bradley. He will help you. He can come and clean up or do any kind of odd job for you. That's Tada Services, serving the greater Toronto area. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Tit for tat, motherfucker, Weston. That's right. That's right. That's why I wouldn't get mad at a woman who's choosing formula for their baby or breaking the law. Some ways laws aren't just. I will say that right now. Just because there's a law in the law book doesn't mean it's just. There was all kinds of laws that were not fair. Segregation, Jim Crow laws, all kinds of stuff. Those were laws. People were arrested for that kind of shit. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's right. It's just they're fucking bullshit, corrupt ass laws. And, there were a lot of racist laws in the United States that were not just, and they got repealed. Well, there's laws right now that are not just laws, and in some ways they deserve to be broken, is what I'm saying. That's right. That is right. Fiercely saying, I think Nick Nurse surrounds himself with established coaches who help winning now. I'm happy with Darko's staff, who are key in development. Once our team is back healthy and fully staffed, watch out. Next year's going to be fun. This summer, hopefully we'll get good things happening and we'll feel really enthusiastic and awesome. I'll get a subscription bump because everybody's going to want to know what's going on with the Raptors from the summer because they won't pay attention and they'll come back and see us here at the RFF. I'm predicting that around September next year, I'm going to have a huge bump in my subscriptions because there's going to be so much questions about where the Raptors are. And a lot of people know that they want to check and see what's going on with them. This is a good place to check. So I fully, the enthusiasm about next year, Scott being healthy, Jakob back, new people from this summer, people will want to come here and see. And I expect a bump around that time. Right now, I don't expect, I've had a couple people come in and add this channel recently, and I appreciate y'all. But this is a really hard time to get any more subscriptions when the team's so bad and more people are turning off the Raptors games than turning them on. Yeah. Let's see. Jill's saying, bye, Cowboy. Have a great Sunday. That's right. That's right. David saying, Boucher had me walking around the condo with my 25 jersey on flexing. I love the way that guy plays ball. Such a gutsy performance. In some ways, if he's hurt because of Chris Murray, I'm going to be so pissed. So pissed. UNICEF, David a dunk. All right. Yeah, we'll give David a dunk. David is my guy. That's awesome. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let's see. David's dapping him. Planet Wild, baby. That's right. Seymour's saying, number one, be in one-on-one with nature. That's awesome. That's right. You know, listen, that's where we are supposed to be. We have way more common with animal and a plant and trees, living things than inanimate objects that people collect. Why do we lose this connection with the soil, the earth, the wind, the trees, the birds? In some ways, they sense things. They're way more smarter than us. In fact, I would tell you right now, the smartest animals on this planet are whales. We're not even the smartest people on this planet. We're so egotistical. We think we're the smartest people in this world. There's 200-year-old whales in the water that have an intelligence that we are not aware of, that it would kill us probably. Seriously. Some people say, well, fuck, Lex, we kill them and eat them. Why are they more smarter than us? They may be more advanced than us. They have a longer lifespan. In some ways, a longer lifespan is indicative of intelligence. And in some ways, we know whales are intelligent and they communicate. It's only our egotistical attitudes that say that, oh, we're top dog of the whole nature food chain. And in some ways, we act like that and we destroy our planet like that. In some ways, the ego of being on top of the food chain or being this or not being eaten by lions or the wilds, killing all of our ancestors, made us overcompensate and destroy the rest of the world. In some ways, this is the problem. We are not better than the trees, the insects, the birds, the animals. We are just the same level as them. We elevated ourselves superficially, and it's not true. I believe that dolphins, porpoises, and whales may be even smarter than us, and we just don't know because we don't talk to them. You know, in some ways, if I can connect in a sixth sense kind of way with nature when I go out there, I'm going to. I'm very curious because in some ways, my dad and I were talking about this. Animals can sense vibes. It's like a dog will know whether a good person is not that comes to your house. You have a dog. Sometimes your dog hates somebody right away. And it's because they can feel aura. They can feel energy. And every animal has this. There's a reason why there's Disney princesses. If a bird feels safe in your energy, well, that's probably because you're a nice, kind, gentle person. If you have angry energy, stuff like that, bird ain't coming anywhere near you. So I'm saying there's a lot more interconnectedness with natural living things on this world that we could get in touch with. In fact, there's going to be groundbreaking discoveries about things. You know, sap, maple syrup that we eat is actually tree blood. And sometimes I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, man, I talk about 100% Canadian maple syrup all the time. But honestly, the sap, the syrup that comes out of trees, that is their blood, as blood is in us. In some ways, they say, oh, it doesn't hurt the tree. It comes out. Well, in some ways, let's think about this. Does it? We don't know. We said all these stupid ass things in the name of being able to slaughter animals so we could eat them. Oh, these don't have feelings. They don't care. Bullshit. All these animals have families and they know each other and they have feelings and they feel pain. Everything does. Plants feel pain. You could break a plant's stick off and it may feel it. You don't know. You don't know. In some ways, the science will prove and say this so we can continue the perpetuity of our system already with a clear conscience. These cows, if you saw how they were slaughtered, to make your burgers, you may not want to fucking eat them anymore. I'm serious. I'm getting to the point where I'm like thinking about whether I should put maple syrup on my pancakes because I'm drinking the blood of trees. Seriously. It's that way we got to think about things. Seriously. We got to think about this. Nameless saying, I saw a bonobo free a strange fellow bonobo from a locked cage to share his food with him. That's right. We're not that far from the communities of the ape cousins of ours. People that don't believe in evolution are fucking stupid. It's obvious evolution is a real thing. We see evolution happen in our own lifetime. Seriously, at some point, we flip so much on our phones, our thumbs are going to change and evolve because of that shit. Seriously, because people are getting so much more screen time. There's changes in the eyeballs of people in their DNA as they go forward because of the ever-changing environment and world that we're in. That's what evolution is. To survive, things change to adapt to the new changes around them. Well, we've changed so much around our human bodies, it'd be very strange to see how the human body evolves in the near future with so much screen time and so much flipping. It's very interesting to think about, man. It's very, very interesting. David's saying, you don't sound crazy. You sound like a prophet. Listen, if I'm one of those squeaky wheels that's making a noise that nobody wants to hear because it's upsetting the system that we all live in, that we just accept every day because it's just what we've always known, I'll be that. I'll be that. Listen, if the medium is now a YouTube stream, instead of writing it in a paper on a parchment with a quill, like from a long time ago, Plato, all these fucking people, I'll do that. I'll put this down right now. I'll bank these stories and things that I say, these conversations, these philosophies, these ideals and ways I look at the world. I'll bank them right now on the stream in my archive. And someday when they come and get all the data and they'll be like, fuck, Raptors Freak told us about this in 2024. Why didn't anybody listen to him? Well, we're going to do that. I'm going to bank it now on my YouTube channel. And at some point, the data will be there. And who knows? Maybe they'll avatar my ass way after I'm dead. Like I've said, they're going to take all the data from all of us. They could replicate us at some point. And there could be a Raptor Street Lex in like 200 years from now. This is exactly who I am because they have me on here for so many fucking hours. Over 900 days in a row on this channel for hours every day. Yeah, they could replicate me just from this channel. They say, oh, that's Lex because we got enough of him talking about everything. We got his personality. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. In some ways, that's part of the reason why I do this channel is because in some ways I want longevity forever. I don't want to be forgotten. If YouTube goes away and all my stuff is wiped away, so be it. But if it all stays somewhere and somehow and something, well, I'm an interesting person they could utilize because there's a lot of data from me, a lot of hours of seeing me and how I talk and my philosophy and how I think. So it's very interesting. Wayne saying no argument from me. I'm with you. See, that's the thing. In some ways, if we normalize more people that can think about the ways we think, because there's a lot more people like us that have these ideas and how we feel about it. If we could normalize it more and get more of the percentage of people thinking about it, and we're not just some whack job on the fringe kind of people, this could make change happen. This could actually get things to move in the right direction of what I'm talking about with this battle between this and this. This is what I want to do. If this is my life's work, other than covering the Raptors like an insane, crazy man, is to try and change the philosophies and the ideas of why we exist on this planet and what we're supposed to be doing here. Yeah. What are we supposed to be doing here? Going after imaginary this? Are we supposed to be connecting and sharing love and having like passion? We're supposed to sing and dance. We're supposed to sing and dance. We're supposed to feel energies and love and happiness and be like a bird sings in a tree. A person sings to themselves. You know, this is what we're saying here. Yeah. Most saying, keep up the great streams, Lex. Go Raptors for life. Thank you, Monique, for cutting me off. Jill saying, yes, BC, Alberta, Manitoba, and those guys, Ian and Derek, who traveled from Ireland annually. Such great fans. I love those Irish fans they're talking about. That they came there and saw a game and they fell in love with the Raptors. And these guys tape the games and watch them when they can during the day. You, whatever Raptor freaks you are out there, you would love my channel. First of all, if those Irish people would find my channel, I'm sure they very much enjoy it. But you guys are our people. You're not in the Raptor Freak family, but you are. You are the people that travel like that, the people that came from Ireland, all y'all that went to Portland last night from other places to support the Raptors. You are Raptor Freak family. You are Raptor Freak family. That's you are. Jill saying to attend the Raptors game. That's right. Going all the way from Ireland just to see the Raptors lose in overtime. Yeah, that's the thing. People won't get pissed off because they came to see LeBron and the Lakers and LeBron doesn't play. No, they get pissed off because the referees railroaded a game that they traveled and put so much money and effort to come to. Like, I would be pissed in some ways if I traveled all the way from fucking Ireland and came to Portland last night and saw that bullshit that happened last night. Yeah, I might be a little pissed. Seriously. Wayne's saying, all I want is the Raptors not to suck. I'm with you on that. And we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Jill saying, our bigs will get better. All will be well. I like that. Fiercely saying, Lex, you skipped my comments and sending you positive vibes this weekend. Hang in there in W Stream. I appreciate you, Fiercely. If I skipped it, it was an oversight and just me being all over the place and stuff. I love you, Fiercely. You are awesome. So Scotty Barnes, Twitch family forever. In some ways, I'm going to give you a 3-pointer because I don't want to see you on 46. I really don't. So I'm going to give you 48. You got 48 hours. Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte. There you go. Bam. I'm not giving you 46. Fuck that shit. Nah. Jill saying, Seymour, that type of brunch takes some serious time to make. Cheers. It's Sunday. It's a time change. You know, we lost an hour. That's even more. That symbolizes this fucking bullshit that I'm talking about. Seriously. Daylight saving times is all construct in a capitalist system to fucking benefit work schedule and things like that. In some ways, it's the most fucked up bullshit thing. Daylight savings time. Yeah, this thing we just did last night. All of a sudden, all of our clocks are changed, and we have no say on this. I'd rather it be right now about 11:30 in the morning, but no, it's 12:30 already. It's 12:30 already. It's some bullshit. Let's see. Nameless saying the lottery gods will protect us and right this injustice. Yeah, Alex Sarr. Bien la vue maison, mon ami. Now you're doing French. You're my Italian teacher, my guy, and you're confusing me. At least I knew that was French. I knew that. Seymour saying, I love making Sunday breakfast. I'm pretty sure it's very peaceful and like makes you feel good. Yeah. Most saying, don't be a stranger to Raptors games ever again, Nameless. See, she loves seeing you at the game. And yeah, for sure. Nameless, you can come to the coach's open house. That'd be awesome. You should come down there and hang out with all of us because we'll be there a week from this Tuesday coming up. The coach's open house is at Scotiabank Arena. It's free to anyone. You just got to sign up ahead of time. It starts very early. It starts at 9 a.m. sharp. They're opening the doors at 8:15. I'll be there at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, March the 19th. And there's a lot of us, they're already going. So I encourage anybody who's interested in coming, come down there. You can hang out with us and go to the coach's open house and get some coach schooling from Darko and the crew and get to see a closed practice with the entire Raptors team. This point, well, we're going to see a different team out there practicing. Very different team. Even since I signed up for the coach's open house, no Scotty, no Jakob going to be at that coach's open house. Yeah. Let's see. Name was saying the problem is humans are bound to their own perceptions of intelligence because humans are a species of perception. If you can control people's perceptions, you can predict and control their behavior. This is so deep and exactly right. Exactly right. You know, this Bohemian Grove place where very rich people go, they talk about their next play on how to manipulate the masses. In some ways, it's where these grocery motherfuckers go and say, yeah, we're going to start doing weird things with our products. We're going to shrink the size of what we sell them, but we're going to sell it at the same price. Now, that's what's going on right now. These motherfuckers are crooks. You can look at a Coke can that's like this size, and then they're going to make it smaller, but they're going to act like they're going to make it the same size, the same milliliters, but they're going to increase the price. They change the Coke can to be a different size, so it looks bigger, but it's actually not because it's skinnier. There's all kinds of shit going on like this. They'll literally go in and make the product that they used to make, like a cookie, smaller. They'll like make it the dimension smaller. It's like, let's shrink it by 5% and we'll still charge them the same price. That's the best way for us to make sure we make a profit, Chip. Then the shareholders will be happy. You know, this is the kind of shit that's going on right now. And it's not helpful to anybody. It's cheating. And it's fucking making people get ripped off and having less for their life. No wonder people get so angry and pissed off. They go to the grocery store, they buy something that was a certain price before, they're getting less and paying more. It's fucked up. It's criminal, and it's not just. And that's what I say. When shit is not just, it deserves to be broken. It deserves to be broken. That's right. Let's see. Seymour saying, is Ahmet still in Israel? I think he is. He says he's coming back this summer to go to Global Jam again. So he will be visiting Canada again at some point this summer. But yeah, he lives there. So he is there. He's in a part that's not near conflict. He's in a part that's very safe in some ways. So, and he doesn't agree with that conflict. He does not agree with what his country's doing. He thinks it's very fucked up. And he's a young person living in Israel right now. He does not agree with Netanyahu's genocide, which is what it is. Name is saying people have lost their wisdom teeth, even a more recent example of evolution. That's interesting. That's kind of deep. You lose the wisdom teeth were for eating certain diet, maybe a little bit more vegetable, a little bit more plant oriented. I think we're naturally supposed to eat like plants in certain ways that we just don't. Hunter gatherers. In some ways, your ancestors may have ate more twigs and berries and leaves and sticks than you realize, and that some of those back molars were for crunching that shit up. It really is kind of like that, yeah. Jill's saying if SAR comes, awesome. What? DST? Damn, got to change some clocks. That's right. DST last night. Fiercely saying Lex said, welcome home, my friend. Nameless said that? Oh, that's sweet. I'm sorry I don't know where I skipped all these messages. In some ways, I don't know. I'm not in my right mood. In some ways, I'm very like, right now. I'm like one of these guys. I'm like Michael Douglas on Falling Down right now, a little bit right now. I'm just pissed off. Race Mode's here. Good morning, evening, Lex and crew. Is it November yet? Yeah, that'd be. Honestly, I want to just get to. I'd actually like to get to June. In some ways, I mean, I have something really big going on in May, and y'all will see it when I go to Estonia. But in some ways, I'm ready to get out to the cottage and just be out there starting my new life out there. I really feel like I'm very anxious that the rest of March and April could go by really quickly to get me there. In some ways, I don't give a shit about this season. I'll do the rest of my streams for the rest of the season. When I go to Europe, I'll be doing 4:30 updates on Raptors news. I will not be doing a stream because I won't interact with y'all because I don't have time to sit and talk when I'm on vacation. But I will keep my stream intact at 9:30. I'll be doing it at 4:30 their time. And I'll come on just for a second. I'll talk about some of my opinions on some of the daily news for Raptors stuff. I won't even be doing the off-season schedule with the trivia and all that stuff while I'm there. I'll be there for 2 weeks. So it's just going to be little mini updates for like 5 minutes of me talking about the daily news for the Raptors while I'm on vacation. In some ways, I got to do it that way. I want to keep my streak together, but there will be a little period of time where it won't be the normal content on here just because I'm in Europe. So that's the way I decide I'm going to handle it right there. Yeah, Seymour saying no to all wars. Exactly. The wars are because of religion and money and wanting resources, exploiting continents like Africa for its natural resources and causing all kinds of fucked up shit like genocides, wars, and really crazy shit, manipulating people against each other. A lot of the European countries and the US do that all over the world to this day, in Central America, South America, Africa, Asia, all over the place, the Middle East, to try and manipulate things, whether it's for oil, whether it's for whatever, capitalist interest. They will cause rape, murder, war, suffering, babies dying, all in that name. In Israel's an example, Ukraine, stuff that's happening in Haiti, stuff that's happening all over Africa, genocide that goes unnoticed, nobody fucking talks about. Yeah, all of this shit needs to go away. A lot of it has to do with that, and that all is the basis of it. Some people say it's religion, but in some ways, the religion of money is what does it. Yeah. CountryCon saying, Lex, once overtime started, Darko definitely had our draft pick on his mind. Starting McDaniels over Grady and Gary was strategic. If we can keep our pick somehow, this will all have been worth it. So you're saying he's pulling a punch by doing that, not wanting to win. I don't think that that's true. I don't think that Darko's pulling punches on purpose to try and not let us win. I think he's earnestly trying to help us win. So I won't totally agree with that. But I think there is some strategy from the front office on this. I think it's not good for the coach to try and do that kind of stuff. But I think it's very much intentional by the front office. I think that Masai and Bobby, in some ways, their signings with 10-day contracts and what they've done internally with Mo G and Javon Freeman Liberty signifies that, if they really wanted to shore up things, they would get more bigs and would make it easier for us to try and win out for the rest of the season. No, they got a bunch of guards. They should have got more centers and big guys to replace Scotty and Jakob. So they short-sized our team on purpose. in some ways for the rest of the season. Darko can't try and lose on purpose. He's got to play with the players that they give him. And if they don't give him the right players, the talent-wise, to match up and win, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You preserve the coach's integrity of trying to win at all costs. You preserve the players' intention of trying to win by busting their ass like they've been doing. It's just they don't add up to it because the front office didn't put the team together that can compete. And that's what's going on right now. Yeah. Yeah. Seymour's saying race mode. November, you're moving too fast. Race mode. He's ready to get there. That's why his name's race mode. He's into racing. Yeah. Jill's saying 12:30 p.m. Say something in Estonian. Geez. I mean, I don't really speak Estonian, to be honest, Jill. I can count. I'll say uks kaks kolm neli viis. That's counting to 5. I can count to 5 in Estonian. I wish I knew more Estonian. In some ways, I'm sad about it. It's a language that's dying, and I'm somebody who should learn it, honestly, but I just didn't. I didn't. My father speaks it fluently. My grandmother, who's going to be 102 in June, she still speaks it, obviously. But yeah, none of my cousins and I and my brother, we don't. And I hate that our generation is the one that didn't carry it. And in some ways, that's really sad to me. So it is what it is. Let's see. Jill's saying, I do tweet to specific entities in reference talking about wars in Africa and the mess that has been made of Haiti that will blow up in our faces. All I can do is all I can do. Well, Jill, I commend you, honestly, with your PR background and your ability to get messages across. Do it. Just keep doing it. It all will add up. It may not seem like it matters, but if enough people like Jill do it, maybe it does. Maybe it does. Yeah. All right. Let me wrap up. This has been a weird stream. I'm in a really weird place right now. I'm very angry, and it is what it is. In some ways, I've got to go sit in it and deal with it in a helpful, healthy way and not in a destructive, bad way. That's the old way I would have done it. I used to actually, drink my misery away, and I can't do that anymore. So I got to figure out a way to deal with it. I'm a juice instead. 102, salute. Yeah, she'll be 102 in June. Hopefully we get to that. I hope we do. It's amazing. It's amazing. I really do think we will. Hopefully we do. Raceman is saying, Lex, can you close the show with a song in Estonian? Have a great day. I don't know any songs in Estonian. I wish I did, but I don't. And it's funny because their culture is really a lot about singing. They have a big song festival in Estonia. In fact, they fought against communism with the power of song. It's really crazy. The Soviets were trying to do fucked up shit to us, take over our country. And the singing rebellion is what they did. They came out and they sang at the soldiers that were coming in. And that was their way of fighting, was the singing rebellion. I don't know any songs in Estonia. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Country Conk saying RJ just needed some Tums. Yeah, I hope he gets well soon. Also, cheer up, Lex. Have a great weekend, everybody. Go Refs, go. You have a great love, Jillian. Peace and love to you. You guys, I love y'all too. And seriously, listen, this is because I'm some pinko anti-capitalist, and some of this stuff may not jive with y'all. I just got to get it out there because I can only be me and get it off my chest. And seriously, I can sound like a crazy person to some people. Some of y'all do agree with me, and that makes me feel better. It makes me feel like there is some hope. And in some ways, they don't want us to have these kind of conversations like the one I did today. Well, that's why we need to have them. That's why we need to have them. And that's why I would say that. Yeah. Brace was saying, what's bugging you? Well, the game last night really pissed me off. And I just have personal issues right now in my personal life that I don't really want to talk about right now. So I'm already kind of edgy and pissed off. And well, the railroadedness of the referees last night and how things were handled, it really kind of made me mad. So, and just in general, I'm railing against capitalism and the system of money in this world and how it just is not humanitarian and how the inequality gap of wealth is getting worse and worse. And there's no reason to do that. If we were like ants or other animal species, we'd be taking care of each other instead of fucking letting each other, like people rot in the parks right now in tents and shit like that. There's no reason for this shit to be happening. If we were sensible and we had good leadership and we didn't fucking just sell out to the almighty dollar in the end, this world would be a way better place. This is where I'm at right now. Yeah. Fiercely saying, Lex, how long have you been in Toronto? Are you going to miss the city? No, I'm sick of it. My dream was to live in this city. I came back and they ruined it for me by making it unlivable, by raising the rents, by making the groceries crazy. I mean, everybody who lives in this city right now are like, how the fuck do you live in this city? How do you pay that rent? How do you make ends meet? That's how most people are doing it. They're doing it fucking, I don't know how they're doing it. Some ways. Every one of us has some sort of crazy ass way of doing this at this point. It's just fucked up. It's not sustainable. If the health of this city is for everybody and families and stuff, they're killing it. They're killing it. More people are leaving like me. And nobody can afford to live in Toronto. That's the sad thing. They took my childhood dream to live in Toronto when I lived in Florida, and they crushed it. And now at this point, I'm leaving the city because it's financially stupid to live here. And in some ways, it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. I've been back in Toronto for 10 years this stint. I've been back downtown since 2014. Cowboys, and I've lived in Toronto 5 different times in my life. When I was 0 to 4, and then a period from 98 to 2005. And then I was here with my wife when I was married, and then we left, and then I came back this time. So I've been coming back and forth between Florida for a while. Have a great day, Lex. Take it day by day. I will. You know, when you see me tomorrow, I may be in a much better place. It's just I got some angst to work out today, and I'm going to take it out on the juicer. I'm going to juice the hell out of some strawberries and carrots and cucumbers and all kinds of stuff, apples. Race Mode saying, I come to this channel because it gives me hope, so I wish I can give it back to you. Much love, Lex. Race Mode, you do, man. Your positive lifestyle, your family, just your creator sense, all kinds of stuff. You being here since the beginning, you being a very supportive person to me, telling me you want to buy me a cup of coffee early on. I remember all that, man. And you're definitely a big part of what keeps me going, my guy. Fiercely saying, send in love and light your way. Thank you, Fiercely. And Jill saying, my friend sleeps on her couch downtown and rents out her 1 bedroom. I know, it's ridiculous. I mean, Adriana and I were talking about this earlier. It's part of the system is so fucked up. And this is the way that is really crazy. You know, a lot of the houses out in her neighborhood, Adriana's neighborhood, are huge, giant houses. And there's like extended families living in them. You say there's like a family from India, and all the uncles and the parents and the grandparents and the kids all live in one house. It's like these families pool their money together and they take care of one mortgage, one electricity bill, one everything, and they're all pooling their resources together in one communal house. They have the benefit of having extended family members together and spending time with each other more. They got it right. It's a big fucking foolish shit that we went away from this whole idea that everybody has to have their own place, their own thing, and all this. It's like I was telling her, it's like, you know, you have your sisters, they all have their own houses, they all have their own mortgages. But if we were like those families, we'd have one place and it'd be really smart economically. Some of those families have to do that because they're families from other countries. And to make it work economically, they had to do that. Well, in some ways, that's the biggest lie, is to tell everybody, you know, they shame people for living in their parents' basement. They shame people for living with their parents into their adult life. But honestly, that's only because the people that rent places, own places, and want to make money off people, they want to drive and prod those people out so that they're an extra customer on top of things. In some ways, I hate that. I hate that when media and other people judge people if they live with their family for that. I think that's fucked up. I think that in today's economic climate, if you have to live with your family to make ends meet, so be it. And nobody should be making fun of somebody for having to live with their parents as an adult. This time and age, in some ways, that's just how it has to fucking be. I mean, it's really hard to survive financially in this greedy ass world right now. And that's what I'm saying. That's one of the biggest scams that they, you know, oh, they shame you if you're not out of your parents' house by 18. In some ways, that don't make no fucking sense to me, because in some ways you could help your parents with their rent and their mortgage, their electricity, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very much for extended families staying together. And it's not just like your parents and you and your brothers and sisters. Get your uncles and aunts, get your grandparents. Everybody should live in the same fucking house. That would piss off real estate people. That will piss off the landlords. That'll piss off the right people. When you're pissing off the right people, you know you're doing it right. And that's why, like, communal house living with extended families is smart. In some ways, it's absolutely necessary economically for people. But they sold us a lie and they normalized it to us. You got to go get your own place. You got to go pay your own shit because they want you as an extra customer. Seriously, you have to be a dummy to see this. You can understand what I'm saying and it makes sense. That's the lies and the kind of bullshit they set up. And they shame people for thinking, oh, you live with your parents still? Well, I have to, because I don't make enough money because there's no good paying jobs anymore. That's it right there. That's it right there, man. That's it right there. Let's see. And like Jill's saying, her friend is sleeping on her couch and renting out her bedroom just to make ends meet. Is that the way anybody ever wanted to fucking live? Well, when you squeeze us like this is what fucking happens. You greedy ass fuckers at the top. This is what happens. Fiercely saying, I hear you. Rural route is best, more peaceful. My friend moved an hour away from Brampton and she loves it. Well, there's all kinds of benefits to this. I mean, it's a family property, so I will own it outright, and I won't have to deal with anybody fucking with me on that. As far as things, I can shape it the way I want to, and like I said, I really do intend to build a permaculture food forest that will be very helpful to my family and the generations after me. And that's my goal for the rest of my life, is to do something like that. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, gonna juice today too. In spirit of Lex. Do it, Cool Cat. I'll be thinking about you when I'm doing it. I'm going to be doing it for 4 hours. I make a lot of juice. I make juice for the whole month today. That's right. I'll be having a juice every morning that I make from today. Firebolt saying, take care of yourself, Lex. Do whatever you need to do to get yourself centered. I will. In some ways, the old me would self-destruct, would get out in the car and get drunk and go to the bar and fucking be a miserable wreck and make it worse. No, I know those routes don't help. So I'm going to use it in a healthy way and get it out in a healthy way, not in a destructive way. And I promise y'all, this is not that bad. I'm angsty and I'm pissed. And a lot of it does have to do with the Raptors game, but it does have to do with other stuff too. Yeah. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, Caribbean culture, we live at home with parents until we get married. See, that makes sense. It's just a North American fallacy and lie. In some ways, they needed to do this shit to get the extra pairs of everything, an extra mortgage, an extra electricity bill, an extra property tax, an extra every kind of expense that you have. When people stay together and they band together and they do value stuff, that hurts the bottom line for the people that really want that. So they'll prod you, they'll shame you, they'll make you feel like less of a person for making those kind of decisions. It's all a big scam, just so you know. If you end up staying with loved ones, I mean, enjoy it. If you don't want to live with your parents because they drive you nuts, I get it. Get your own place. But I'm just saying, in some ways, we've normalized these kind of ideas in our society, and they're so full of shit. And they really are benefiting the ultra wealthy, and they push it and they put that. And it's exactly what we're talking about before: perception and the things that Nameless were saying, and the things that they can utilize this and this and this. And think about this. Oh, we're going to aim the system this way. I can already tell they're doing fucked up shit with our food. In some ways, they shouldn't be messing with general necessities like housing, food, and water, and healthcare. These are general necessities that if we're an advanced civilization, we were going in the right direction, everybody be taken care of. There's countries that do this already that have proven that it's possible. It's just there's fucking people running rackets here, and they want to use us for fucking as parasites on our backs, bleeding us out. So it's just how it is. Yeah. Nameless is saying it was only in the past 50 years or so that people were pushed out of their family homes by social conditioning. Before that, people stayed with their parents until they were 60. Yeah, it's like TV. They did it in the TV shows, sitcoms. They really very much implemented this kind of stuff in messaging in media and made it more shameful in those kind of ways. It's really crazy, and people really ran with it. You know, there's a lot of dumb comedians out there in Toronto making jokes about, oh, you still live in your basement with your parents? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if somebody does? Why are you shaming those people? Why are you doing the work for the ultra rich? You fuck. You hack comedian that doesn't even make any money. You're fucking carrying the standard bullshit that fucking they utilize. Let's see. Jill saying another friend dresses in suits in a multi-award-winning photographer, but lives in a hole and has a couch on an Airbnb and it's rented every night for $75. See, that's crazy. That's a facade. That's faking it till you make it. You know, what's the end game? Why is it that people have really good jobs are not able to live normal lives like they could 20 years ago all of a sudden? Seriously, if she's doing that job back then, 20 years ago, she probably could have a nice house and a car and be able to do things. But at this point, things are so fucking greedy. People are cutting corners between either paying their bills or feeding themselves. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Jill's telling me all these stories, and I'm like, yeah, these are good examples of exactly what I'm talking about. Name is saying in most European countries, people still die in the houses they were born in. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Wayne's saying, I don't want my kids living with me. They're gross, spoiled, and kind of selfish. Sorry, Lex. I'm blowing up the multi-generational theory. Well, I mean, I get that. And I mean, it may not work for everybody. In some ways, I want freedom. This is the thing I want, Wayne. I want you to have the freedom to decide that for yourself and say, I don't want my kids living with me and they should leave. And I have the right as a parent to make that stipulation for my family. But I want other families to have the right to say, yeah, we all live together and nobody should judge us for that. I think that there's two ways to look at this. I'm all about freedom. I'm not saying everybody has to live with their families. I'm just saying that there shouldn't be a stigma about it, especially because of the economics of today's world. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, you want to kick them out? Go ahead. That's your life. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm just saying in general, the way we look at this maybe should be changed. And it's a good example of how they condition us to drive economics. Is a good example. Seymour saying, Jill, what's Canada like? My homie just moved from Calgary. I'm going to check it out soon. Yeah, I don't know Canada. I don't know. Isaac saying, may you find peace and keep fighting injustice. Juice it up. Thank you, Isaac. You're my guy. And look at those nice little fruits. Race Mode saying, Lex, when I get down, I think to myself, at least we're not the Sixers. Although they got Lowry and Nurse right now. I mean, I'm with you. Cool Cat saying, I read that corporate and billionaires buy up neighborhoods cheap and then rent apartments at sky high. At some point, the process will break and reform once again. I hope so. Unless it just becomes so dystopian that it doesn't matter. That's the thing. In some ways, the way we're so callous about the Palestinian people right now shows a total disregard for humanity. And that, you know, the fact that there's a lot of people in the streets causing waves and making a big fuss about it. But in a lot of ways, life's just going on while this shit is happening. I mean, I want to believe that things correct themselves at some point, but I think that greed can pay for itself to insulate itself. And at some point, there may be a huge majority of our society that just lives a different kind of life. And it may be kind of like what we've seen in movies before. There's a bunch of fucking dirty-faced people living in shacks out in a crazy-ass field with burning drums warming themselves. And this is like how 80% of the people in society live, while there's a very small middle class that's like the service class in between. And then there's the fucking very ultra rich that are very, very small. Like, where does it get to the point where we fucking come after them? Where it is eat the rich? Where it is where you motherfuckers got too motherfucking greedy. And now it's time for reckoning day. Because these motherfuckers don't understand this shit will come if they don't fucking watch out. That's what I'm saying. I endorse that shit too. Eat the rich, fucking come at the greedy ass motherfuckers who've utilized this crazy ass system to fucking really hurt everybody in general for their own coffers and bottom line. Yeah. And someday you push us, you'll get there. We've seen this in different eras of history, and it'll happen again. Trust me. And it may be really weird and crazy. People see that movie of The Purge. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that may be part of the reason why Zuckerberg, I have a theory about what happened in Hawaii, that forest fire and everything. Well, Zuckerberg's come in and bought the land. He's making a huge underground compound over there now. Yeah, these motherfuckers are scared too. They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars to build huge bunkers away from society, just in case we do get some sort of idea to come with pitchforks and torches for our rightful share. Because we will, trust me. If they get to a certain point in a certain place, unless they do it slowly, and we're like the frog in the pan, they don't need the temperatures heating up over time, and then all of a sudden you just cooked. You know, in some ways we got to be cognizant of that. This has been going on. They won't do it, and they'll ratchet up slowly, but not enough that everybody gets upset and takes to the streets. As long as they satiate us with bullshit sports, the Super Bowl, and bullshit celebrity stories, everybody will be too confused and distracted from getting organized and getting together and getting out in the streets and changing the whole system. I mean, that's where it's going to get to. At some point, it may get to that point where it's just like, fuck this shit. We're not having it anymore. Y'all went too far. The process will break and reform again. CountryCon saying, you seem really down. Chin up, Lex. There's always been corruption in the NBA and the government. We can't let it get us too down. Your relocation to the country will be good. All the best. Yeah, man. I mean, I think about this heavy shit all the time. I have the time to. And in some ways, I put in thought that some people need to be put in, but they just don't have time to because they're running their rat race and just making ends meet. So in some ways, if that's part of my part in the thing, I will do it. Listen, I operate on a very high level of thinking about things, Country Kong. It's part of it's a benefit and a curse. It really is. In some ways, I wish our ignorance is much easier to just not be intelligent and understand high level concepts and how things really are and see through it. It'd be a nicer, easier life. It was dumb to it. But no, that's not my lot in life. So I'll carry this burden. And in some ways, I don't want to shut up about it. I don't want to accept it like you're saying, chin up, this has always been this way. No, fuck that shit. We got to talk about it. And if there's any kind of progress we can make, we will. Because things are going in the wrong direction. You know that, JP. Things are going in the wrong direction. You can see it at the grocery store. You can see it in the greed around us in this society at this point. It's just really bad. Wayne saying, just joking, making light of a very serious conversation. You're all good, Wayne. I like you, man. If you want to kick your kids out, it's all good, man. I'm telling you, once again, I'm all about freedom. And some people say, well, Lex, you're not for freedom if you're for communism or socialism. That's not freedom. What the fuck? What is the freedom? You want the freedom to subjugate everybody else, to line your pockets while other people starve? Is that the freedom you want, piece of shit? Because that's what you sound like when you say that to me. Freedom is within reason. Do you need a fucking move a bridge in Europe just to get your fucking tank, your fucking yacht through there, Jeff Bezos? Do you really need that? That's an obscene amount of money to spend and to do that just because, oh, I can do that. Meanwhile, there's fucking people starving all over the place. Yeah, we got to get our morals right. I'm not religious. I'm not a Christ person. I am a spiritual person. I have better morals than a lot of people who follow Christianity at this point. I mean, you can say, oh, I'm religious and I care about people. Well, you're not doing it in service to people. You're fucking full of shit, is what I would say right there. Yeah. Yeah. Fiercely laughing at race mode and it's saying Seymour, Canada is in the west part of Ottawa. Nice community. They have everything. Grocery store, Costco, Canadian Tire for shows, stuff like that. Cool. Let's see. Blackhawk saying, no worries, Lex. My grown-ass kids still live with me. Now, see, in some ways, listen, and you can make it, set it up like where they can really help you. You know, if they're giving you a share of the rent, if they're helping you with like any kind of whatever, bills or groceries, it can really help each other. In some ways, that's part of it. There's waste in yourself by yourself. You're cooking for one person. I know cooking for one person, it's hard. You want to make a big meal that's more cost efficient and feed a bunch of people. If you're just cooking for yourself, that's not always the best economics. So there's all kinds of benefits to living with other people for sure. It's good for safety also. It's good for just connection. You get to see your kids more because of that. And that's fantastic. So there's all kinds of benefits, but I'm sure there's downsides too. And it's not always the best thing, but that's with everything. It's like that. Cool Cat saying, Lex, never lose hope. Humanity always resets when it becomes untenable. I love that. Cool Cat, you are a beacon of light that helps me today. You are. You really are. Jill saying 1 p.m. Holy crap, it is 1 p.m. Oh, it is the time change. I listened to Seymour and cooked sausages and eggs. Yummy. Cheers. Go Raps. Go. All right, you go too, Jillian. I appreciate you. Cool Cat saying, Lex, you're moving closer to nature will soothe senses. Just know that empath personalities think about the great good of society. Sharing your concerns is beneficial to all of us. We always support you. I love you, Cool Cat, and I appreciate y'all. All right, I'm going to get out. Thank you, everybody. My stars of the game were Boucher, Quickly, and Olynyk. I don't care about the Instagram stories. We got Dubber Don getting a whole bunch of kudos in the locker room with the Blazers last night. But, yeah, that's about it. I got Emmanuel who's palling around with Ashton Higgins of the Blazers. I guess they're best friends, and it was really nice for them to see each other last night on separate teams. That's it. That's the Instagram stories. All right, y'all, get your NBA fantasy basketball team set up. It's the last day of the week, and we got to see who's going to win today. And I appreciate y'all so much. I really do. Y'all's support is awesome. And you know what? It is exactly what y'all have been just saying to me just now. In some ways, it's not been an easy day. And it's not totally got to do with the Raptors. It's not totally got to do with what I've been talking about either. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all really do help me. All right, I'll be back tomorrow to preview the Denver Nuggets game. And I'm going to go juice. And seriously, I'm going to make it more lighter and happier in the time to come. I know I get real serious. And in some ways, the stuff we talk about, maybe it doesn't have anything to do with the Raptors. But I had a burning desire to talk about it today. And that's why I did. All right, let's go Raptors. And thank you guys. Seriously. I'm serious. Y'all seriously make me feel better. I may look like a wreck, but I'll be all right. You're going to be here tomorrow? All right. I appreciate you, Cool Cat. Y'all have a great Sunday.